Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hold on, I can't look at anything yet. I got to pull stuff up. I got a whole thing going on here. All right. Good afternoon. Maria, Tony, Candy D, Miss Lucky Charm, Kenny, David. That's all I see so far. Tina. Tina, how are you doing? I know it's been a long time. I ain't seen you in years. Haven't seen you in years. But is everything going good with you? Lisa, Tessie, Erica. Cinnamon Fist. Hello. I'm sorry. I like Seinfeld. Mike. Horrible sweatshirt, bingo suck. It's just a shirt. It's just a shirt. A shirt that I've had for a long time, and when I dig through and I come to this one, you know, my hoodies and sweatshirts, it's just in the rotation. I don't even remember where I got this shirt from. I know I didn't buy it. Somebody gave it to me. I don't even remember where I got it from, but it's there. So it's in the rotation, and it gets worn. I'm not watching any of that stuff. I mean, of course, I hear about it, so I know the Bengals made the playoffs, and they won the division. So people hyped about them, but Myosha, Anthony, B-Rab, Robert, McConnell, Doc Foster. Oh, Tria, it's not going to get old for me, Doc Foster. It's probably old for you, and everybody else is like, why is he calling him Doc Foster? But it's not going to get old for me. Good afternoon, King. Let the front running begin with that Bengals sweatshirt we haven't seen since Marvin Lewis. Experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. On the other side of the glass is Raven Monday. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Hello.
Hello. And we got stuff going on that we're going to discuss. But I have to start off, and I don't want to beat a dead horse. I've always hated that expression. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I have to discuss it. Someone called into the Lincoln Ware show earlier today, and they discussed, being the neighbor of the couple with the 2 children, one of whom is dead, the 5-month-old and the 2-year-old. And the conversation surrounding that was ever so slightly disturbing. Ever so slightly. Now, I want to start off by saying the young lady, whose name I don't remember, she seemed like a super nice lady. And she is under no obligation to do anything that she doesn't want to do. She ain't got to call nobody. All right? And she is in no way, shape, or form to blame for anything. All right? So I'm saying that right out the gate, because I don't want nobody calling in, "Are you blaming her?" I'm not blaming her for anything. She doesn't deserve any blame for anything. She's a nice lady and all of that stuff. Nice lady, all of that. But here's what disturbed me. If you, I'm imploring you, if you live next to someone and you hear a baby crying to the point where it makes you and or your loved ones wonder aloud, I wonder if they beating them kids or if they're abusing those kids. And you feel it disturbs you so that you legit have to pray for the safety and welfare of the children that you hear and plead the blood of Jesus over them. Will you consider calling somebody? Because that was kind of what was said. Like, I didn't know. I kind of mind my own business. I kind of saw them and I didn't know anything was wrong, but we heard some stuff. And I got a lot of stuff going on in my life, so I ain't got time to be all up in everybody else's business. And I get all of that. But the day that you hear the baby crying, and when I say baby, the 2-year-old, the 5-month-old, the 7-year-old, the day that you hear the baby crying, and you look at your loved one, and you say, "Oh, she beating them kids. She abusing them kids, I think." You say that, just make a phone call. Call, 241 kids if you have to. And somebody said, "Well, what are you supposed to say? What are you supposed to say?" Like, you ain't got no proof. You just hear a kid crying. That ain't gonna do nothing. Here's what you could say. Here's what you could say. You could say, "Hello? Yeah, I live at so-and-so. And a couple doors down from me, I hear a baby crying. And the cry is such that I'm concerned that somebody's abusing that child. Like, I'm sitting here with my husband, or I'm sitting here with my wife, and it sounds really bad. Like, I'm sitting here right now, I'm praying for him. I'm pleading the blood of Jesus over him. I don't know if anything is going on, but it sure sounds like something is going on." That's it. Just say that. Just say that. Now, again, you don't have to do that. You don't have to. And if you don't do that, you are not the blame for anything that happens there. But you can make that. That's a little something. And somebody said that they won't come out because you hear a baby cry. Maybe they won't, but maybe they will. And it's just a matter of looking out for these little kids. Just looking out for these little kids who kind of can't look out for themselves. So let's look out for them. And, you the neighbor. So, but, if they tell you who called or you find out who called, be mad at me. Be mad at me. That's cool. Because I was looking out for the kids. And hopefully I'm wrong. And, my neighbor is just mad at me. And then hopefully my neighbor can understand. Hopefully now my neighbor can understand I was just concerned about your child. Because I don't know you like that, and people harm children. So that's it. That's really it. If you hear kids, just maybe make the call. Again, you don't have to, and you're not to blame if you didn't. But saying, well, I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. 513-749-1230. I just really do. And then one last thing. But can I suggest that if you don't do anything, if you don't say anything, if you don't, offer some help, extend your hand in friendship or any of that kind of stuff, then just leave it at that. No matter who call you and say, hey, talk about what happened. Just, no. I didn't get involved when it was going on, and I don't want to get involved afterwards. So, I appreciate the offer, but no. I'm good. All right, that's it. That's all I have to say about it. 513-749-1230. That's the number to get on board if you'd like to get on board. And look, I'm a victim, or not a victim. I am a person who might have to take my own advice. Because like I said, if I heard, how we live nowadays, like I don't live in the country. I live up in Avondale. And so, sometimes I can hear stuff going on with the neighbor. I've never heard anything that sounded like somebody was beating somebody or something like that. But if I did, I'm one of them people who I don't know if I'm getting involved. I don't know if I hear that man beating his wife or that wife beating her husband. Unless it sounds like somebody dying, I don't know that I'm getting involved. But maybe I have to start rethinking that. But definitely if it's a kid. I don't know if I'm calling somebody or if I'm saying something. But one of those two things is going to happen. If it's a kid, I'm either calling somebody or I'm saying something. If it's adults, I don't know. And maybe that's something I have to start thinking about. Do I want to be that person? Because I'd hate, again, not that it's happened with my neighbors, but I'd hate to be the neighbor while they taking a body out thinking, I knew something was going on over there. Oh, I used to hear them all the time. That would make me feel bad. So when I'm saying this stuff, I'm working it out loud. And so I'm kind of talking to myself as well. 513-749-1230. That's the number to get on board. Hold on, Freddie. I'll get to you in just a moment. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
Radio 1 Cincinnati and the Ohio Media.
See, so this is the guy Randall Wyatt was talking about last night. He called E-Man a scammer and a chaos agent. Oh, wow. I'm famous now. Hey, I've never scammed anyone, and I don't know exactly what a chaos agent is. But if that's what I am, so be it. I'll stand by everything that I say unless I take it back. E-Man, you remember when you said your neighbors were outside arguing and woke you up? Was they the same people? No. That was when I'm thinking my neighbor, I'm talking about the person that lives next door. That was a situation with the people across the street, and that was like all up in the middle of the street that they was arguing. Wyatt hasn't been commenting on your chat in a while. I'm all right with that. Look, Mr. Wyatt can say whatever he wants to say about me. It don't hurt my feelings. This is all talk, and everybody has a right to their opinion. Everybody has a right to their opinion. So, it's okay. It's okay. Charles is defining for me. A chaos agent is an agent for chaos. Well, I mean, I knew that. When I say I don't know what it means, like, it's the assertion that I am an agent attempting to create citywide or nationwide chaos, and what would be my purpose? What would be how would I benefit? Like, I'm telling y'all, some stuff I do just because I think it's for the good of us. Like, some stuff I'll say because I think it's for the good of us. Like the stuff I was saying yesterday about, treating our young people the way other people treat their young people, giving them the same benefit of the doubt, blah, blah, blah. I do that like for the good of all of us in my mind. But if I'm going to do something that's like, at least in my mind, out of character, I'm getting paid. So if I ever come on here and I've turned into like some hardcore Republican or, something like that, trust me, I'm getting paid for that because that's not what I believe in. So there's got to be something that I'm getting paid for. And ain't nobody paying me to say, well, I mean, Radio 1 is paying me to be on air, but they don't tell me what to say. Most times they tell me, stop saying that stuff that you've been saying. But that's it. But look, Mr. Wyatt, he's got a right to believe what he wants to believe. He has a platform to say it, and I support him and his platform, and that's that. That's that. So I don't agree with him, of course, but he got a right to say it. But yeah, I know that's his word or his phrase. Chaos agent. It's provocative. Really gets them going. I'm getting involved ASAP if I hear something that is life-threatening to another human being around my household. All my neighbors know I open and conceal carry. All right. Minutes after. It's the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. 513-749-1230. That's the number to get on board. And look, I take all callers. I don't currently have anybody on a banned list or anything like that. So I'll take all callers. If you got something to say, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Just talked a little bit about the if you're just tuning in, the babies, the 5-month-old and the 2-year-old, the 19-year-olds who are indicted for their murder, and the neighbors who maybe heard something. And I implore you, if you hear somebody and you genuinely believe they're harming children, try to do something. Even if that's only make a call. All right? 513-749-1230. Freddie.
Hey, man, keep your eyes on Jerusalem. And you're right, man, about what you're saying. But, hey, Emanuel, that generation, man, they gone. This is part of the beastly. And it is. That's some beastly stuff. And the Holy Scripture tells you that, man. Just pray for them and move on. But it was interesting that Lincoln Ware and the lady called in this morning about the rent vouchers, man. And they got a piece in the New York Times paper about the stimulus money. Would you believe this, my brother? $4 billion already squashed it. And went to the crooks and the thieves, and don't nobody know where the hell it's going. And the people that truly need it is not getting a penny, okay? See, that's real important. I'm forever grateful and thankful that lady called and Lincoln Ware referred her to somebody, although that may not mean anything when you refer them to somebody else.
Hey, Freddie.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that, though.
Well, you see, that's what I'm saying. But you've been talking about that stuff for 2 days, man. There's nothing that you can do, my brother. That's a part of that beastly system that's set up and put in place. And that young generation, they gone, man. There ain't nothing you can do for them other than pray for them, okay?
Freddie, number one, that I don't know that that's true. It's not a
Well, I'm telling you, you ain't paying attention, man. You better start tuning in.
All right. Freddie. It's not, at least I don't believe it to be a generational thing. There are a whole lot of 19-year-old parents out there. Oh my God, Freddie. Yeah. Can I get a word in?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. There's a lot of 19-year-olds out here who have children, who aren't beating them to death. And there were older people in other generations who also beat and abused their children. So it's not a generation thing.
You ain't paying attention, man. You ain't tuning in on what's really going on.
Okay,
you're allowed to be where you at, okay?
Tell me, what's really going on? So it's a generation thing. So this generation is just doomed to beat and murder their children. That's what you're saying?
$4 billion with the.
Hold on, that's not what we're talking about, Freddie. That's not what we're talking about.
But in people that truly don't need it,
Freddie.
The people apply for certain things in reference to that.
All right. Thank you for your call. 513-749-1230. How you gonna do him like 30? Because he's just hollering about something that I haven't discussed that. That's not what we're talking about. Maybe on Friday, if we do the week in review, write it down. Like, I want to talk about them vouchers because a lady called the Lincoln Ware Show. Write it down. And then on Friday, call in and you can holler about the $4 billion in vouchers and the beastly generation and all of that good stuff. That's not what we was talking about. And I don't have that actually on the list to discuss at all today. So that's that. 513-749-1230. And why would I want to call you when you just hung up on somebody? I won't hang up on you. I won't hang up on you if you making sense or, on our topic. Like, you can even half make sense and be on topic.
Nobody want to talk to you. You mean. You mean.
What? Oh, boy. Maybe that's what happens when you keep your eye on Jerusalem. You're not paying attention to what we're talking about. Also, I forgot to give the disclaimer. If you don't want to talk about or hear about the coronavirus at all today, you might want to go somewhere else and listen. There's somebody somewhere talking about something, and it's got nothing to do with the coronavirus. Because I'm about to talk a little bit about the coronavirus. So let me give them a little bit of time to move on. All right. Mount Healthy, the first tri-state school district to announce remote learning. Mount Healthy, they said, look, we're doing a remote thing. I think this is smart. I think it is smart for Mount Healthy and really for any school district at this point. At this point. And look, if we saying we want to stem the tide of the coronavirus and this current surge, keep people away from people. Keep people away from people. And I've noticed that it seems like, and I think I've seen it reported somewhere, that a lot more of our young people are being infected with, what is it again?
Omicron.
Omicron. Thank you, because I had Omarion in my head, and I didn't want to say that. A lot of the young people are being infected with Omicron. So keep the young people at home. Keep the young people at home. I'm glad that Mount Healthy, they're junior and senior high schools. Junior and senior high schools. They made the call. They weren't afraid. Because I think that's, some of this is political. And I don't know why we're playing politics with these children and potentially their lives. Forget the politics of the thing. Forget the popularity of the thing. Is it a good idea in terms of safety? Is it a good idea to do distance learning, online curriculum, whatever your district calls it? Is it safer for the young people? If the answer to that is probably yes, then do it. That's simple. Do it. Now, if you're like, look, we're not sure if it's safer, let me ask. From a physical standpoint, is it more harmful to the children to stay at home and learn? Well, no, probably not. We got a surge of coronavirus going on. So and this is what they keep telling me, let's err on the side of caution. That's why we got mask mandates, why you got to have vaccine cards and all that kind of stuff. We're trying to err on the side of caution. Let's do that for the young people. But they don't learn as much when they do the distance learning. Parents, you need to step up, and make it happen for your kids. Zuri, right. Chicago schools are closed. Them teachers said, oh, hell no. Hell no. How much of this stuff is going on? No, we not coming in. We just not showing up. I don't blame them. The colleges, they're doing virtual. The colleges are doing virtual learning, but our high school and junior high school and elementary school children, we're like, they be all right. How many of y'all still working from home? How many? Come on, raise your hand high. Come on, I gotta see it. Put your hand in the air. You working from home? So why do we not want the kids to work from home? Adults are working from home. College students are working from home. But the kids, they'll be all right. Come on. Mount Healthy, I think it's the right move for right now. And then you play it by ear. You see what happens. You kind of pay attention to the spread and the way everything is working. And that's the way you do it. Now, I know some people say, well, but that's doing it in reverse. What you really should do is send the kids to school, and then if you get some sort of an outbreak, then you close the school. Not leave them at home and then look at the numbers, the spread, the hospitalizations, pay attention to how it's affecting young people, and then if it kind of cools down, then we send them back to school. I guess that's just a fundamental difference in the way that we see things. I like it. I like shutting them down, and I'm not necessarily against the teachers union in Chicago saying, we not going. We got too many people sick. They say they want the kids to test negative for the coronavirus before they show up to school. Now, y'all know I'm a proponent of that. I don't want to get into that because y'all get mad when I say it. But when the teachers union say it, they can make a difference. Let me get this break in here. 513-749-1230. That's the number to get on board. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
Here's what you need to know with Sybil Wilkes.
Tina says the school should use snow days or have emergency days. Or just let them learn from home. Just let them learn from home. I'm sorry. It sounds crazy because they're not learning nothing from home. That's your responsibility, mama. That's your responsibility, daddy. That's your responsibility. Oh, school is great as long as it's somebody else's responsibility. The kids learning is the most important thing as long as it's somebody else's responsibility. Kids learn from home. Oh, no. Well, why not? Because, that requires me to make sure that they do stuff. Make sure that they getting the lesson. Make sure that they doing the work. Make sure they paying attention. Make sure the environment is such that they can learn in. That requires me to do something. Tanika say, I'm working from home and I love it. Why y'all still talking about Freddie? What was I supposed to do? Just let that man stay on the phone screaming? Like, I had to keep putting him on hold because he just kept screaming at me. He just wakes up mad at me. I don't know why. He just wakes up mad at me. I'm the victim. Somebody said Mr. Mims doesn't call anymore because he wasn't getting respect put on his name. I showed Mr. Mims more respect than he's ever gotten on this radio station. As a matter of fact, I called him Mr. Mims out of respect. So I'm not sure why he's not calling anymore. I am not wrong for hanging up on Freddie. He can still get that stuff off his chest. Just look in the mirror and scream at that guy. Don't call here just screaming at me. Or call Lincoln and scream at Lincoln. And I did not call Mr. Mims a liar, except for, when he would tell a lie. That's the only time that I ever called him a liar. And that's the only stuff that, I had like firsthand knowledge of. Oh, somebody asked me yesterday. About the $5 that he gave to me. He gave me $5 for my birthday a while ago. And what happened was, it was a nice gesture. He came up here, he had his little trench coat on, and he called me out there. I was producing Lincoln Show, and he put $5 in my hand. So happy birthday, here's your $5. And he was walking with the cane, because, you know, I think legally he's blind. And he was walking with the cane. And I was thinking, this man live on a fixed income. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? I don't want to take his $5. It's just $5 to me, but I'm sure it could really mean something to him. But I didn't want to offend him by not taking it. So I went on ahead and took it. And what I did was I kind of slipped around him because he was standing in the doorway, and I was like, excuse me. And as I was going past him, you know, he had on the trench coat, so I just took the $5 and I slid it back in his pocket. He would have never known. And the way that I look at it is, you ever like put on your coat and reached in your pocket? You're like, I got $5. Where did this come from? And it's the best feeling. Well, one of the best feelings. I thought, yeah, one of these days he'll reach his hand in that pocket and there'll be $5. He won't know where it came from. But somebody told him, I go, man, you put that $5 back in your pocket. And he was furious. He would have never known, but he was furious. And then I went to explain to him, like, I appreciated it. It's just that, you know, I figured you might need it. He was mad at me ever since then. Till the top of the hour. It's the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. 513-749-1230. Couple topics. I guess you could say couple topics on the table. Let me go to the phone. Talk to Ozzy. Ozzy.
Hey, Brother Emanuel, how you doing?
Ozzy, I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
And first, I just saw, I'm on Mitchell, and I saw a brother, young man, throw some trash out of the passenger side of his best friend's car like he was Curry shooting a three free throw. I mean, the follow through, and he grinning and smiling, man. You know, it disturbs me because it's up to us to keep our community safe and clean. And the cleaner and safer it is, the more value the homes is worth. We done discussed this before. I know some people won't agree. Now, I also wanted to call about the being neighborly.
Hold on, before you talk about being neighborly, let me ask you this. What do you think can be done? Because I see that as well, and it's a problem. And one of the last times that I saw, because I see it a lot, and it really does bother me. But one of the last times that I saw it, it was a brother, and he threw something on the ground, and I said, it wasn't the last time, because the last time I didn't say anything, but I said, hey, bro, it's a garbage can right over there. Can't you just throw it in the garbage can? And he was really, really upset.
Right.
And you know, it could have turned into a thing if I would have pushed it. So, I mean, what do you do? What do you do for people who just throw stuff out the car, or just eating some potato chips, they finish, and they just drop the bag on the ground?
You know what they did in Woodline? When they came up with a message.
Oh.
Keep Woodline beautiful, and beautiful Woodline. And I think that subconsciously it got to where people just respected the community. You know, maybe then we wouldn't have to say anything if we could subliminally make people aware that we want our community to be beautiful.
All right. Now you were going to talk about being neighborly.
You know, there are times when a child should be whooped, in my opinion. One, they will not listen to you correcting them about crossing the street without looking both ways. Because we know we got people out here with these souped up cars that think they're in the Indianapolis 500 going up and down our streets, and we don't want to see our child or our neighbor's child dragged by one of these idiots because our child refuses to cooperate with the idea that you got to look both ways. If the child is playing around the stove and there's hot boiling water on there and they refuse to listen, then I think that you, in order to keep them safe, you might have to whoop them after a while.
Okay.
Now, if you hear a 2-year-old crying 2 or 3 times a week, 2 or 3 times a month, there might be something wrong. If you hear that mother in there correcting that child as she's whooping it, you do not cross this street again without looking both ways, because I've repeatedly told you so. Then that's going to happen maybe once or twice a year. But when you hear a baby crying 2 or 3 times a day, because even if they're hungry, and the parent can't, the mother, even if she doesn't have any bottled milk, she's got milk to quiet that baby down, there's a problem. But when you hear children crying constantly and continuously, then there's something going on, and it needs your attention.
And what type of attention do you give? Remember, we live in 2022. Are you a call 241 kids type of attention person, or are you a go over there and knock on somebody's door and say, hey, what's going on type of get involved person?
Let's go back to what you were saying about telling somebody where the garbage can is. We don't want, there's some of us in the community that don't want to be told nothing by our neighbors or concerned citizens. That's why we have police. That's why we have 241 kids, a fire department. It is, all it takes is a phone call, or it might take a few phone calls. You know, I wouldn't go to my other neighbor and say, did you hear that crying? Because now they can be the one to point you out as being the snitch. Snitch on these people, but do it discreetly. You call, you inform an authority that there's a child that's 2 years old, 4 years old, that is constantly crying, that there's a baby that never stops crying. And you will have done your part. And I think it's just that simple.
All right.
I'm done.
I appreciate the call. All right. That's Ozzy. He says get involved. Look, I didn't agree with Ozzy about all of the whooping. Like, it sounded to me like Ozzy just be wanting to whoop kids. I'm not saying he does, but you didn't look both ways before crossing the street. Take this whooping. Oh, you doing this. Take this whooping. I don't know that you got to whoop kids all that much. I also am a believer in whooping, kids as a form of discipline. Kind of as a last resort, if you want to use that terminology. But, kids listen. You can explain stuff to kids. A 2-year-old ain't got no business crossing the street by themselves anyway. So, there's that. 513-749-1230. I'm not against getting involved, making a phone call. I'm not calling the police, which you might argue if you call in 241, then you're calling the police. But I'm calling somebody to check on these young children, babies, who might be being abused. I'm not saying, hey, police, go to that door and whatever, because I really do believe a lot of times when you inject a person with a gun, you increase the chances of somebody being seriously hurt or killed. But I don't know. 513-749-1230. That's the number to get on board. I got a few more stories. I got a lot more stories that I want to get to. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back. This loony Harris person talking about I wouldn't do that with Twin. You know why Twin didn't call this show for a long time? Because we, quote unquote, got into it on the air one day. And I had to be a little harsh with Twin. Why would I be scared to be harsh with Twin? Like, I don't know what. Some people just say loony stuff, I think just for the sake of saying loony stuff. Okay, but back to Mr. Mims real quick and then just let that go. I didn't block his blessing. He would have still got his blessing because he gave it to me and he would have never known that he got the money back. So that wouldn't have blocked his blessing. Don't you get the blessing? And I'm asking for the block blessing people. Don't you get the blessing for doing the thing? If I go and buy Raven a house and then Raven decides she don't want the house, so she sell the house, did she block my blessing? Come on. And it would have been beautiful. It would have been beautiful. Just put on your little trench coat. You going out in the rain or whatever. You put your hand in your pocket and you... $5. I didn't even know I had that money. William says 241 kids in certain areas is crap. All right. Well, tell that to Twin, because he's an ex-gang member. Tell that to Twin and tell him that he and I never got into it. Yeah, try to convince him that I wouldn't hang up on him or tell him, what are you talking about? You sound like a crazy person. Tell him that. Because it actually happened. And he said he wasn't calling my show no more. But then he called back eventually. Minutes to the top of the hour. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I am with you, until 3 o'clock this afternoon? 513-749-1230. All right, let me get all the COVID stuff out the way. Because I don't, really necessarily want to talk about COVID. But I got, one, I think this is it. I got this one more story on COVID, or at least that involves COVID. Xavier now, they're going to require vaccination or proof of a negative COVID test to get into basketball games. The policy is in place for everyone 12 or older. Negative test result must be from within 72 hours of entry. Fans will have to wear a mask throughout the game, except when actively eating or drinking. There will be a vaccination checkpoint in addition to screening and ticket scanning. Yeah. So you have to either have a COVID-19 vaccination card, a picture of a COVID-19 vaccination card, a screenshot of a COVID-19 vaccination record from a pharmacy, a screenshot of a negative PCR or rapid antigen test, and fans 18 or older should prepare to show a picture ID to verify ownership of the vaccination card or negative test. That's the... I don't like this. Here's why I don't like it. I don't like it because what is that doing? I mean, I understand the goal is to stop the spread of the coronavirus. I understand that's what the goal is. But think about what it's actually doing. Let's take our own Lincoln Ware. Lincoln Ware went to the game. He's vaccinated. There's a good chance that when he went to that last game, he was already positive. But he could have walked in, been all full of COVID-19, showed his vaccination card and his ID, walked in, and just been spreading coronavirus to everybody. I'm not saying that he would knowingly do that, but he could based on these guidelines. So what's the point? If the point is to stop the spread, then everybody, vaccinated or not, if it's not that big of a deal for unvaccinated people to get a negative test and show it to you to get in, it's not that big of a deal for vaccinated people to get a negative test and show it to you in order to get in. And then, like you said, everybody keep on their masks. And maybe then you'll, be at least moving a little closer to stopping the spread. Because if we haven't learned anything, everybody keeps saying, we know this. I don't know that you do. If we haven't learned anything, vaccinated and boosted people can still get the coronavirus and they can still spread the coronavirus. So just showing me a vaccine card doesn't mean anything. It just means at some point in time you got vaccinated. That's all it means. So just go get a test. Hey, honey, you want to go watch X play? Sure. All right, let's go get our coronavirus test because the game is in 72 hours. All right, cool. Go get the test. But we're vaccinated, honey. Don't matter. You might have it, and we don't want to spread it. We want to keep people safe. So let's just go get it, and then everybody's showing their negative tests. That sounds reasonable to me. Again, if it's reasonable for me, that's just such an inconvenience, Emanuel. It's such an inconvenience to have to go everything I want to do. Now I got to go get a test to prove I'm negative. It's not that much of an inconvenience. Maybe it'll sit you down for a little bit and then we can actually slow the spread for real. But if it's not all that inconvenient for me, it's not all that inconvenient for you. And then everybody's doing it. And who knows? We might actually slow the spread.
It's almost like people are treating getting tested as some kind of punishment. And that's what I find weird. Like, you're perfectly okay with walking around with a card that say you was vaccinated, but to actually make sure that you don't have COVID on a consistent basis, that's like a punishment to people. I don't get it. your vaccine is not how many times do we have to say it? Being vaccinated is not a cure-all. It's not the golden pill.
They think it is.
Getting tested is the most surefire way of understanding whether or not you are currently infected with COVID.
Here's what I'd say. Because I keep hearing people, if you're vaccinated, reduces your chances of being seriously ill or dying. It does reduce your chances. Doesn't eliminate them. Doesn't eliminate them. There are people who are vaccinated, who get it, and who die from it. So it does reduce it. It doesn't eliminate it. And because we know it doesn't eliminate it, even vaccinated people shouldn't want to get it. Because again, there's a chance that you could be one of the unlucky vaccinated and still die. So go ahead, get vaccinated. But still, in order to show up, show that negative test. Show that negative test. Glenn says, it does reduce your chances, doesn't eliminate it. He thought that was common knowledge. It's not. I heard again today somebody on air who's vaccinated, who has the coronavirus, say, if you're vaccinated and you get the coronavirus, you won't die. Not there's a chance, not it reduces your chances. They said if you're vaccinated and boosted and you get the coronavirus, you won't die. People keep saying that. That's why I have to keep saying, no, wear a mask. Yes, get vaccinated and get tested. Because it doesn't eliminate the chance that you will die, just reduces it. And if you're talking about slowing the spread, it doesn't stop you from spreading it. So everybody, when you go to watch X play, take them a negative test. Be kind. 513-749-1230. And yes, it was someone on air. It wasn't a caller and it wasn't a doctor, but it was a person who was on air who said it. A person who has a lot of sway over people.
How specific of you?
What? I'm just saying. I'm answering the question. Distance, wear your mask, wash your hands, sanitize them, all of that good stuff. Yeah. 513-749-1230. I don't know. I got Pharaoh and Blade. I want to get to you guys, but I'm like a minute and a half from the break. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the break now. Oh, hold on. Somebody else said reduces your chance. Get real. That's what it does. It reduces your chance. Now y'all don't believe that. See? You see, Glenn? You see why I have to keep saying it? I know people ain't going to believe me, but I have to keep saying it because people bought an idea. And yes, there are people out there who don't believe it. It reduces your chance. Yes. Doesn't eliminate your chance of dying from the coronavirus. All right. Let me get a break. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. Now, hold on. I know I said someone says, so then why not reduce your chances? I'm not against reducing your chances. How many, even just a few minutes ago, didn't I say go get vaccinated? Didn't I say that, Miss Monday? I said it. And I didn't even say it with my normal qualifier, like if you feel like it. That's how I feel. If you feel like it, get vaccinated. But I just said, go get vaccinated.
As a matter of fact, you've been saying it that way for the last couple. I've noticed anyway. You've been saying it that way for the last couple days. Go get vaccinated.
And they still mad at me. Sometimes you can't. I'm like Michael Jackson.
In what way?
You can't win. You can't break even, and you can't get out of the game.
Can you please go to break?
Do I need to sing it?
No, please don't.
It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
WBBZ, Cincinnati, 1230.
Janice, why you mad at me? Why would I shut up about telling people to get vaccinated? Hold on. You don't want me to tell people to get vaccinated. You don't want me to give people accurate information about the vaccination. You don't want me to tell people that they should get tested, that they should wear masks, that they should socially distance. You just want me to shut up. That would be a terrible show. Just silence. Come on. I can't shut up. I'm doing a talk show. I was going to sing it, Tria, but then Ms. Mundy said I can't, so I won't. She said we don't need that. I was all prepared. I was ready. No, that was the Scarecrow. That's the way he was doing it when he was up there as a Scarecrow and he was singing. Minutes after. It's the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until 3 o'clock. Until 3 o'clock. 513-749-1230. All right, let me get these phones in here. Pharaoh.
Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, I heard you speaking about an earlier caller. You're speaking about, whooping a child.
Yes.
Whether it be, first resort or last resort. I just happen to grow up in a generation where...
Hold on. Can you do me a favor? Can you speak up just a little bit?
Yes. I just happen to grow up in a generation that when it came to whooping a child, it wasn't about being a first resort or a last resort. It was about, I told you already what to do or not to do. And if you went against that, then that's the consequence. You paid a butt whooping.
Well, but think about, a lot of things happened when we were growing up. But when I think about it, and I'm asking you, how reasonable is it to say to a human, any human, I'm only going to tell you something once, and then if you don't do it, then I'm going to give you the most severe consequence. Like even at your job, if you show up late, you know not to show up late. They don't say, hey, if you show up late, most times, if you show up late again, you're fired.
But what I'm saying is that, see, we grew up, me and you, we are in two different generations.
Correct.
See, in the generation I grew up in, it's not about that. It wasn't about that, about first resort, last resort, or if I told you already, and you broke the rule, then a butt whooping was in order. That is the way I was raised.
Right, I
told you what to do or not to do, and if you didn't do it, or you did what I told you not to do, then it wasn't about first resort, last resort. You had a butt whooping coming. That's the way it was.
Right, I get that, but what I'm telling you is that might not have been the best way for things to go.
Yes, it was, because see, it was the way my father felt, is that he would tell us, I'm not trying to stop you from doing whatever. I'm just trying to slow you down. He said, you may do a whole lot of other things, but you ain't going to do that no more. What you got that whooping for, you won't do that no more. Now, you may do something else, but you ain't going to do that.
That's not true, though.
Oh, yes, it was. In our household, it was. I did a lot of things.
I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying.
I did a lot of things.
Hold on, so let me make sure I understand what you're saying. All right? You're saying you've never repeated anything ever that you got a whooping. So if you got a whooping for it once, you never did it again ever.
No.
All right. Well,
No, I didn't do it anymore. I did other things maybe,
all right.
but not what I got whooped for. I didn't do that no more.
All right.
So see, some people learn the easy way, and some people learn the hard way. I mean, sometimes it might take 3 or 4 whoopings to
Well,
spend something.
hold on. What's the easy way?
I mean, one whooping might solve it. Or some people, just talking to them might solve it. Just tell them, don't do it. Okay, I won't do it. See, that's the easy way. Some people, it might take 1 whooping or 2 whoopings. And then other people, some may never learn.
Yeah.
See, and then they grow up and end up in penitentiary because I never learned. Somebody might say, for example, you might tell your child, don't mess around with drugs. Don't fool around out here trying to sell drugs, whatever. You say, okay, you go out and do it anyway. They go to jail, spend 2 years in jail, okay?
All right.
Okay, they come out, I ain't never going to fool with drugs anymore in my life. Then you get another child, you tell them don't do it, they go spend 2 years in jail, you get out, do it again, sell drugs again. Get caught, do it again, you know? After all that time, after they spent half their life in jail, now they might learn. See, now I ain't gonna fool with drugs anymore, 'cause I'm too old to be going to jail now. See? So some kids learn early, some learn late as they get older, and some never learn. See? They spend their whole life in jail or out of jail because of drugs. The other thing you were speaking about the COVID thing, you know, when it comes to the COVID thing, when people say, well, no, I'm not taking that drug. You know, I ain't taking all that stuff. I don't know that vaccine. I don't know what's in it. I take the position like this. In your daily activities and what you might drink or eat, you don't know what's in it. If you look at the ingredients, 90% of what's on the label about ingredients, you don't even know what it is. I never even heard the word, let alone know what it is. And you eat it still.
Okay.
But yet, something that could possibly save your life,
It could possibly.
you know, I'm not going to take that. I don't know what's in it.
But what about the people who that's not the reason why they're not taking it?
I've known people who said they're not taking it because of religious reasons. You know? I've known people who say they're not taking it because of religious reasons.
Right.
So I'm just saying, I mean, people got all kind of crazy reasons why.
Oh, that's a crazy reason?
It is, especially when you're talking about life and death. When your life is on the line. You don't have time to sit around and like that joke. You remember that joke?
No.
Remember Jack Benny used to tell?
I definitely don't remember no joke.
God is a force in nature. That's the power right there.
Well, I'm glad you've come to that conclusion.
See, I've always said that.
You didn't.
Oh, okay. See that? You should have came to my class then.
No, I didn't have to. We had a whole conversation about it on the air.
So this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that God has always been a power, a force in nature.
All right.
I always said that this mess about Jesus.
You believe it
never
now.
being.
And I'm glad you do.
It never existed. I've always believed in a higher power.
All right. Can you, before I let you go, can you give me one more Jack Benny joke?
No, I'm not saying it was funny to black people.
No,
I'm just saying that was the joke that he was telling on TV.
And can you give me one more Jack Benny joke? Just one more?
No, not really, no. I don't that happened just come to mind. I don't know really get into nothing like him, like that with Jack Benny, as far as Jack Benny.
Okay.
You know, I was just saying that because it was just relevant to a person, you know, considering life versus death.
Over money.
You know.
All right.
Over money, yeah.
Pharaoh, I appreciate your call.
All right.
All right. That's Pharaoh, 513-749-1230. We had a long conversation about it, even longer than the conversation that we just had about his belief system. But he doesn't believe that anymore, and there you go. 513-749-1230. Break or Blade? Break. Let me get a break in here. Blade, Shay, and you, if you call 513-749-1230. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
All the news and information you need is just a click away at thebuzzcincy.com. Just go to thebuzzcincy.com.
Yeah, me and Pharaoh, we had a long conversation about it. A long conversation about his belief system. I asked him, did he believe in a higher power? And he said, no. Because we were talking about, I remember the conversation only because we were talking about how life began, and he was talking about the cell, and he believed something about a single cell organism came out of the water and kept splitting. And I asked, where did the single cell organism come from? Trying to get to the point that there was creation. And he said it just came from other organisms splitting. And we got all the way back to the Big Bang being a single cell organization of a single cell organism of some sort. And I asked him, well, then way back then, where did it come from? And he was like, it just always existed. I said, no, it had to be created. No, it wasn't created, it was, always, there, so, and I'm like, no, it had to be created. There is we were just going back and forth about our beliefs. And there was no creator, it's just, it's always been, been there. I'm like, okay. We eventually, we let it go. I wasn't going to convince him. He wasn't going to convince me. So yeah, to hear him say the creator, I'm like, whoa, because we had a long conversation about it. Black Wolf Fish wants me to expound on my religious reasons when it comes to not taking the vaccine. No, I will not. It ain't none of your business. I believe what I believe. You believe what you believe. You don't have to know what I believe. Just know that I believe what I believe. Sincerely. E-Man is the most high. That is not true. Not even between 12 and 3. Look, I'm not against people's beliefs evolving. Speaking of creationism, I'm not against people's beliefs evolving. I know mine have. My beliefs have evolved over the years. And I don't even know that I'm 100% where I'm going to land eventually. Yeah, I'm Most High Chaos Agent. Oh. Now, Black Wolf Fish mad at me because I won't answer his question about my religious reasons. Like I said, you all cap. All right, there you go. I'm all cap. I'm cool with you believing that. See, I'm not even saying that I'm not. I'm cool with you believing that. Yes. It don't hurt my feelings. I'm quite comfortable with it. He is. He be going in over there. Be responsible and read statistics from credible sources. He mad. He's mad. Ms. Lucky Charm say, I just prayed and took the vaccine. I put it in God's hands. There you go. He is super mad. 20 minutes after. It's the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until 3 o'clock. Teresa, Blade, and Shay. Blade, I know you've been holding on for a while, but you call somewhat regularly. I don't hear from Teresa and Shay very often, so let me get Teresa and Shay in here. Shay.
Good afternoon, Emmanuel. How are you?
Good afternoon, Shay. I'm fantastic.
Yes. I personally wanted to speak about the young lady. I just think if she had more support, her support systems weren't there. She didn't know where to turn. None of us know what we would do with what was going on in that home. And we don't know. We won't know until the final facts come out about what was going on. Would you agree?
I'm not even 100% sure that I understand what you're saying. None of us know what we would do in the home.
Yeah, none of us know what we would do in that situation. I mean, I know that what
in which situation are you talking about? The neighbor, or are you talking about the
neighbor?
Parent?
The neighbor.
Okay.
Because she had no idea. She didn't have the facts, and she probably, seems like she's a very nice lady, and
she seem like a nice lady.
She reads a lot.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if she reads a lot, but her husband did come up with the fact that maybe the baby is being abused over there, and she's probably seen things on TV, the neighbor.
Well, but Shay, doesn't that speak, if you're in a situation where, again, you're saying aloud that I think they might be beating that baby, that says you heard something that made you believe that, so much so that, because you have little thoughts, and they come and they go, but to verbalize something, there's something that you don't just verbalize every thought that comes to your mind. So you heard something that made you say it out loud, which, if you've got to say it out loud, don't you think it's possible that might move you to some sort of action?
Yeah, it would, because I mean, maybe she had one thought, the neighbor and her husband had the other thought about it. It would move me to want to investigate. And me personally, I would probably call not 241 Kids, but Job and Family Service. I wouldn't give my name. I would want to remain anonymous. And hopefully they would adhere to that and come out and send someone to investigate that, what's going on in the home. Because, like Lincoln said, she could have been going through postpartum depression, didn't know where to turn, didn't have no resource list to turn to. I don't know what was going on. All I can say is it was bad. It's pretty bad.
It definitely is bad.
And they were both sent to, were they sent to jail? They're in jail right now, right?
Yes, both 19-year-olds. Yes.
But you also have to look at the people in prison, because they probably will go to prison for that. The people in prison read the newspapers, and when they get there, it's double trouble. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know that to be true. I mean, I know that's what we hear.
I don't know if they're going to separate them from the regular population, but it could be double trouble for them. Okay. So I just say that to say it hurts my heart just to hear about it. And another thing, like I brought up on Lincoln's show, is we need to have brain specs. Everybody needs one. Because that's the only way to have...
Hold on. You said we need to have what?
Brain specs.
Brain specs.
SPECTS. okay? Because that's the only way to have optimal access to who you are. It really is.
Wait a minute. What is I'm not familiar.
Oh, you don't know what a brain spec is?
No.
Okay, a brain spec, and they do them over here, but it's different in other countries. And this is this Lebanese doctor. I told Lincoln I came across this book 25 years ago. I stumbled across it in Kenwood at the bookstore, and the book said, change your brain, change your life. Now, he has many, many, many more advanced resources than he had 25 years ago. This Lebanese doctor, his name is Daniel Amen, A-M-E-N. He has over 10 locations in the U.S., and it's growing. That's when you put the brain, you see what the brain is doing at rest. They shoot this isotope in your arm, and you see what the brain is doing at rest. And then after that, they shoot the isotope again. They see what the brain is doing under stress, active brain.
Okay.
And that's the only way to come up with what part of the brain, there are 8 parts of the brain, and then he can decide what part of the brain he sees it is out of order.
But who do you want to have this? It sounds like an expensive test.
No, it isn't. It was when he first came out. It is, to me, I looked at the prices, and 75% cheaper than he ever was.
What? Hold on. Is it somewhere in Cincinnati where I can get my brain spec'd?
Yeah, but you want to go to him. He has a PBS program that comes on the weekend, Channel 48.
But, so I'm saying, is there? Do we have a spot in Cincinnati?
Yeah, they have. Just look it up. Google it in Dr. Daniel Amen locations in the USA. He got to over 10 locations and working.
And one of them is here in Cincinnati.
No, not Cincinnati.
That's what I was asking.
No, not Cincinnati. But they do them at Children's Hospital too. On children that behavior is out of order, but they're not as good as what he has.
Yeah, but
okay?
The point that you were making is that we all need to do it.
Yes, and
why?
He stated that everyone needs. That's
what?
His statement. Okay.
What? Okay, hold on. Shay, hold on a second. Let me slow down. How much is it? Do you know?
$3,500.
What?
Yeah, but you have see, Emanuel. You have to look at that's who you are. Your brain is who you are. Okay, wouldn't you like to have optimal access to who you are, your brain? Why do you argue with people every day? Why are you so? And I'm not stating that as a fact. I'm just using it as an example. Wouldn't you like to understand why?
Well, but hold on. Let me say this. I don't know anything about this brain specking, okay? But I would say if he charging $3,500 a pop, then yes,
that's your life.
But then yes, he would say everybody in America needs to get one.
Yes.
Yes.
I truly believe that because that's who we are.
Oh, have you had your brain specked?
No, but I tell you, I'm putting my money away to go get one.
What?
Yes, because you have to put yourself as a priority. You are who your brain is who you are.
Okay, I'm not against specking of the brain, but I don't know that everybody needs to do it. And I don't know what the benefit of doing it is. Maybe it's something that I'll look into. What was his name?
Daniel Amen, A-M-E-N.
And when he look at the brain, what is he going to do?
He's going to, well,
I know,
isotope. When you go to him, you tell him what's the problem. If you're having problems with
what if
behavior,
I don't have any problems?
Yeah, of course you're going to think that. But you still want to go to him to make sure you have I won't say perfect because none of us are perfect.
Well, I don't know about that. But
a brain that gives you abundant life. Okay, I can't say it any better than that. Abundant life.
I think you probably could. But what I'm asking is this. So I go get my brain specced, right? And
yes.
he gives me basically the scan of my brain.
Yes.
What do I
And
do with
then
that?
he sees he's looking at your brain at rest, and then he looks at it under stress, active brain.
How he
and
gonna
he might
stress
say,
me?
well,
What he gonna do to stress me out? To look at it under stress?
No, because it doesn't have to be something real bad, but it could be something as common as you falling asleep every day at 3:00, and you could say, Dr. Amen, I fall asleep every day at 3:00. What's wrong? There are 8 parts to the brain. He's going to look at all 8 parts.
I'm sleepy.
And he's going to put them side by side. This is what your brain doing at rest. This is what it does under stress. You have a sleepy cerebellum. You have a sleepy PFC. Or you have a hot temper because you were born without a right temporal lobe, and that holds the anger. So I'm just saying to you, it's worth it, okay?
I will take your word for it. Let me know the results of your brain spec.
Okay, I sure will.
Mind.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All right. That's Shay. She is sharing just some information. She's saving her money to go get this brain spec. So if you want to know why you angry or why you fall asleep at 3:00 every day, you have a sleepy cerebellum. That's possible. It can happen. It can happen. I wholeheartedly believe that could be the case. Let me get a break. It's the afternoon experience. It's only at the low price of $3,500. And everybody should do it. Everybody. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
Get ready for the urban.
I'm not against Janice. I'm not against a brain scan. I'm not against it. I would imagine for a reason, though. I would imagine you getting I'm not going to Dr. Amen talking about, Dr. Amen every night at about, 11:30, I fall asleep. Can you check my brain? Well, what are you doing when you fall asleep? Laying down in the bed with my eyes closed? You got a sleepy cerebellum. It could be. It could be. Woo. For the low price of $3,500. I'm not against a brain scan. But I'm not just going to get a brain scan just because. And why do I get so hyper on the air? Why do I No. I have a hyper amygdala. Is that a part of the brain? It's possible. It's possible. I'm not dismissing it. Why is it that that alligators are so ornery? I think I agree with Bobby Boucher, because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush. That's why. The hell with what Colonel Sanders said. Oh, boy. She said it's 75% off. Do the math on that. Y'all know my math ain't all that hot. It's 75% off, and it's $3,500. What is it at full price? Somebody do the math. $3,500 is 75% of what number? I mean, no, it's 25% of what number? Well, I guess then you could just do 3,500 times 4, and then you get the number. What's 3,500 times 4? I'm looking at Raven Monday. What's 3,500 times 4? Come on, you're supposed to be a math whiz. I need to call that welder. He's a math whiz. Somebody said 14,000. So it was $14,000. It was $14,000. But now we've slashed prices. And you can get it for the low price of $3,500. See, now somebody else said it was $12,000. Come on, y'all. Y'all know mathematically, you know, I need a brain scan to figure out why mathematically I can't figure this stuff out. I need a brain scan. Can I get can y'all do like a GoFundMe or Cash at me? Give my $3,500 so I can get my brain spec. SPECT. Can y'all do that for me? See, now y'all giving me conflicting numbers. I'm going with the 12,000. Oh, the 14,000. Yeah, 14, right? 3,500 times 4. See, that's what I'm saying. I need my brain spec. $35 minutes after. It's the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. 513-749-1230. Let me go right back to the phone. Got a few things on the table and a few other things that I want to talk about. But I got to hear from the people. Teresa.
Good afternoon, Emanuel.
Good afternoon.
Hey, so I listened yesterday. I didn't call in, but I did listen. It was just breaking my heart. I'm real emotional. But I'm one of the neighbors that more than likely it wouldn't go down like that with me.
All right.
I'm nosy. Very, very, very nosy neighbor. And my neighbors know it. I'm nosy. And then it's not going to happen. I will do something. I will call. I would have called. I probably would have went over there. And with me, I do so sometimes to maybe put myself in danger, but I'm very nosy, and that wouldn't happen. Would not have happened. I'm about ready to call on these daggone dogs just barking all the daggone time. I think they're like in distress or something. They bark too much, but that wouldn't have happened. No.
And so you would have, if you were hearing things,
yes,
you would just call somebody.
I would have called, and I maybe would have went over there. I'm nosy. My husband said, "You're too nosy." You nosy. I am, but sometimes you need to be. As neighbors, we need to be a little nosy. We do. And those kids wouldn't have. Nope. Like sometimes I say I put myself at risk. Like sometimes the guys, they want to do their little drug deals. I'm out there writing down license plates. I'm letting them know my presence. You ain't going to do it here. You can do it somewhere else. And most of the time, guess what happens? They go to another street where people don't pay attention or they don't care. They don't want to deal with it, so they just go somewhere else. That wouldn't have happened if I was the neighbor, especially if I was hearing it. Oh, no. No. I'm not blaming the lady, the people that heard it, the husband that heard it.
Right.
But for my husband, like, you two know that you need to mind your own business. No.
All right.
Not going to happen. And one more little thing.
Yes, ma'am.
So I was at Kroger, and this little kid, I guess he was about 4, and it looked like he was maybe with his grandfather. He was in a cart pushing him. and the grandfather was hollering at him mean, and be quiet, shut up, this, that. And then I started looking like, wait a minute. But then the little boy was out of order because he told his grandpa, be quiet before I beat your tail. So, and then he was smiling at him. So I was like, he all right. He over the top, but he ain't I don't think he getting abused. He was smiling. And
So they might have just been goofing around.
yeah, but to tell your grandfather, be quiet, that's what his grandfather tells him. Be quiet before I beat your tail. That was out of order. But I was looking like, is he abusing him? That, it ain't happening with me. I just wanted to call in. I'm nosy.
All right.
All right, bye.
Teresa, I appreciate the call. 513-749-1230. I got time to get you in here now, Blade. Blade, you're on the buzz.
What's going on?
How you doing, sir? Thank you for waiting.
Oh, yes. I had no choice. I appreciate it. I hear what I hear. And remember what we said? Remember what we talked about yesterday?
What?
When I said the neighbor probably was guilty because they heard what went on and didn't say nothing. And then she called in today and said, yeah, everything I said yesterday, I was right. I mean, when am I never wrong?
Again, just because she heard it, I still don't agree. But again, that's my opinion.
I understand.
I still don't agree
opinion.
that makes her guilty of those kids dying.
No, it's not guilty of the killing. It's guilty of the abuse. She said her husband said something is wrong, and she convinced her husband out of what he was thinking. And you know what? And that's the problem. Eve convinced Adam that nothing was wrong with what she did. So when I hear women talking a man down, this is a culture of eunuchs. That when men back in the day, say for instance, you was in a stroller, your father and mother was walking, and they was arguing, and your father got loud with your mother. A man would say, "Hey man, you need to tone that down. That's a woman." Now we don't do that. Only thing we concerned about our house. The boy neck was broke. We don't know for how long, and he was whining and crying because he was in pain. He wasn't crying. He wasn't whining and crying because his belly was full. He was whining and crying because he was dying. So when I hear all these testimony of people what they would have, could have, like Teresa, she's worrying about a dog. I feel sorry for these children that maybe children don't need to be born anymore in this world, especially in our community, since we are so worried about oneself. It's sad, man, that we make excuses and
Let me take exception to something you said. And I know this wasn't the main point that you were making.
Go ahead.
I'm for, at certain periods of time, if you have to, involving yourself in somebody else's business.
Right.
But I don't agree with you people always being up in other people's business. If I'm at a store or at a party or wherever, and you and your wife are having a heated discussion, I'm not jumping in talking about, hey, change your tone. I'm not doing that, and I would be out of order if I did.
Brother, that's the difference between you and I, and we got different opinions.
That is one of the differences.
It's like this. If I hear, say for instance, Raven and her dude was in the park, and I heard a smack. You think I ain't gonna sit back? I say, hey, bro, I know her. She on the radio. How dare you?
Hold on.
I will whoop his ass.
You could. Well, I don't know, but you completely changed what you were saying. If Raven and her man was in the park, loudly talking, and he got loud with her,
I would tell him, say, hey, man. Hey, you can't talk to her like that.
And then you might get your behind whooped, because that is none of your business.
But check this out. That's the sacrifice we have to take. We cannot pick and choose when people are being murdered and kids are getting their neck snapped, and I might get my ass whooped. And one more thing, It's not snitching when somebody is killing kids. So ignorantly,
I agree with that.
What's his name, Ozzy? That's that generation. He's 60 and up. They cowards because they ain't gonna do nothing. And you know what? Most people saying what they ain't gonna do and whatever don't have kids and never probably been in a deep relationship with a woman to have kids. But to each his own. We cannot no longer pick and choose. Hey, bro, if a baby, you know what? I bet you, just like Teresa, I bet you if a damn dog was whining, I bet you the whole damn community would have got together and saved that damn dog. Peace out, bro.
You might have a point there. There you might have a point. The other thing, because I believe we do have to get involved. Yes, if you see someone verbally abusing somebody, but loud talk is like, I don't know how, you know what I'm saying, Raven and her man talk to each other. I don't know how Lincoln and his wife talk to each other, and you don't know how me and Mrs. Livingston talk to each other. And if we being loud, yeah, be vigilant, maybe pay attention, like, you know, keep an eye on this, because I do hear some stuff and I'll be worried, like,
I mean, I get that because I'm the same way. If I'm out in public and a man is like screaming at a woman, I am alert.
Right.
Like, I'm not just gonna like not pay attention, but I'm not gonna walk up to him and tell him to change his tone. Like,
right.
that's just not realistic.
No.
But for future reference, if y'all see me in public and some man is screaming at the top of his lungs at me, I want you to know that's not my man, because I don't date men who scream at the top of their lungs at me. If you can't talk to me with some sense, then we don't need to be together.
It might be your man.
Nah.
You just
not after that. No, you ain't.
Right after that, maybe not. But up until then, it might have been. He had a hard day.
Damn, that ain't got nothing to do with me, bro. You better lower your tone.
Let me get a break in here. Lawrence, hold on just a moment. It's the Afternoon Experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
Radio 1 Cincinnati and the Ohio Media School.
Tropicana getting ready to leave. She bobbing her head and singing to whatever it is she listening to in her headphones. I was at, I had stopped at UDF. I don't remember what I stopped there for. But there was a young lady. She looked really young. And it was cold. This was Sunday, I think. It was cold. And she had on a dress with the whole back out. Like, you know, like she was headed to a party, but she clearly wasn't. It was early up in the afternoon. And she was having some car problems. And she kept, you know, she would go to the hood, she would lift it up, and she was hitting on something, and then she would close it, and then she would get in the car and try to start the car, and the car wouldn't start. And then she would go lift it up and hit something, and then she would close it and then go try to start the car, and the car wouldn't start. And she was a really, really young girl. If I had to say, I might give her 21, 19, you know, somewhere in there. And again, it struck me because it was cold on Sunday. And she didn't have on a coat or anything. She just had on, it was like a sweater dress with the whole back out. And I was thinking, let me go help her. So I go over and I ask her, do you need some help? And, oh man, she had the nastiest attitude. No, I don't need no help. Now keep in mind, she'd been doing this for, it had to be a good 10 minutes. Because I noticed it once I had gone into the store, and it was a little bit of a line. And so when I came out, I'm like, excuse me, do you need any help? I don't need no help. No. And I was like, and I went to walk away, and I turned back, and I was like, are you sure you don't need any help? I'm not sure what's happening, but, you know, I mean, I could hold the thing open and hit the thing, or I could try to turn the thing while you, and she was like, didn't I say that I didn't need no help? And I was like, hey, I'm not, you ain't got to tell me 3 times. So, I don't know, man. Sometimes you try to, you know, reach out to help people, and you never know what you're going to get from the person that you're trying to help. Now, I wouldn't have not asked her if she needed help again. And if I see somebody else that need help, that I feel comfortable asking, then, I would ask again. But the point that I'm making is you never know what you're going to run into when you intervene in somebody else's situation, even something as simple as that. Like I said, I could have just sat in the car and while she tapping on whatever she tapping on, try to turn so she ain't got to keep running in and getting out, running in and getting out. I'd have gave her my coat because I know she was cold because it was cold. So I could have gave her my coat. Tell me what to hit. Yeah, I don't like the way that sounds. But, I can do whatever it is that you're doing under the hood. But she didn't want no help. William said, you got to read the energy of the individuals. And I agree. I mean, in that particular situation, there was no way for me to tell what her energy was until I asked her if she needed help. She just seemed like a young lady in distress. And I would have did the same thing if it would have been a brother. Like I had to end up I gave a brother a jump probably about 2 weeks ago. He was in the drive-thru and his car just stopped on him. And then he had pushed it somewhere. And some people had asked him if he needed help, and he told them no. But I saw him sitting there. It's like, you need some help, bro? And he was like, I just need a jump. I'm like, I got some cables. Come on. Ten minutes till the top of the hour. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until 3 o'clock. We're talking about getting involved, being involved. And yeah, you don't know what you're gonna run into when you get involved. I was sharing the story with the online people. I'm on Facebook and YouTube, if you didn't know. I was sharing the story with the online people that I believe it was just this past Sunday. It was cold. Wasn't it cold this Sunday? Okay, yeah, it was this Sunday because it was cold. I'm up at UDF in, what is that? Over there where Xavier is. I'm up at that UDF. I go in. There's a young lady. She's standing outside. She might have been 19, 21. Somewhere in that range. She was really young looking. And she's driving a car. Well, she had driven a car. She had on like a little sweater dress. It was kind of short. And the entire back was out. So all you see is just her whole back. And again, it is cold out there. And I don't like the cold anyway. So a little cold is cold to me, but it was cold on Sunday. I'm in the store and I, glance over and see her out the window and she opens up the hood to her car and she whacks on something in there. And then she closes it and then she gets in the car and she turns the key. Nothing happens. She get out, open up the hood, wax on something, closes it, get back in, turn the key. This was happening the whole time I was in the little store waiting in the line. So when I come out, it might have been 10 minutes. So when I come out, she's at the hood. She's got the hood up and she's whacking on the thing. And I'll look over and I say, because I try to be as, because, I don't want to, this creepy dude, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be. So I say, you need some help? And she's like, no. I'm like, okay. I turn to walk away, but there's just something about it. Again, it is cold out there, and I'm just looking at her. She's got to be freezing. And I kind of walk back over her direction just a little bit. Didn't want to be threatening. And I say, you sure you need some help? And she's like, no. And I said, I didn't know. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to tell me 3 times. I walk and I get in my car. As I'm driving off, she's still opening the hood, whacking on the thing. You don't know what you're going to run up against when you go to help somebody. But don't let that stop you from trying to help people. But, I mean, there's a line. There's a, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, like somebody said, you gotta read the situation, read the energy. I don't know. I'm assuming at some point she got the car started and got out of there. I'd have gave her my code. I'm saying something. 513-749-1230. That's the number to get on board. Lawrence.
You know what, Emanuel? This is 2022, and I'm gonna speak just as bluntly. I'm gonna keep it 100. Blade, you're a damn lie. The rules of engagement is, and this is the street code, this is the law of the land, judge and jury. You do not stick your nose in something that you don't know nothing about. Everybody has freedom of speech. If this woman don't like what this man is saying, she can walk away. If you don't see a man or anybody committing a felony, you cannot intervene or say, really, you get your head taken off. I wish a punk like you would say something to me. You know what I call that? A freebie.
Lawrence, relax, man. He didn't say nothing to your wife, man.
This is 2022. We all, as black men, going to step to a higher standard. We're going to keep it 100.
But you already, Lawrence, it didn't happen, and you already on here threatening people. This is 2022.
No, that is not a threat. That's the reality of life. 99% of the black men and white men of America, if they are, as long as they are not putting their hands on nobody, you do not have a right to come and mess with them, because the judge and the jury will call you the antagonist. They will say you were the aggressor. A man and a woman having an argument or whatever, he ain't putting his hand on it. You gonna come, hey man, shut your mouth. You will get crucified.
Lawrence.
A judge and the jury would not convict you.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yes, they would.
Not down
Lawrence,
in Texas, not
even
in
down in Texas. Oh my God! Every time, Lawrence, stop. Every time you wrong about something, you can't just say not down here in Texas. That's not a magic cure-all. Even in Texas, I have a right, Lawrence. If I see you yell at your wife, I got a right to say to you, hey, bro, watch your tone.
You didn't know Texas was its own country?
That does not give you the authority to physically assault me, to do any of that kind of stuff. It doesn't.
Emanuel, let me speak, bro, and I'm going to just be blunt, real, and I hope y'all play it back for the execs, and they going to tell you I'm damn right.
Oh, my God.
Look, bro, I'm licensed in the state.
What?
You know, I carry a gun. Been doing it for damn near 40 years
What does that have to
while
do
I work in General Motors. Here's the point that I'm making.
All right.
This is the law. Y'all tripping.
That is not the law.
Keep your nose out of other folks' business.
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Hold on. Can you hear me? Lawrence.
And the man and the woman turn
Y'all
around
hear me
and
trying. Y'all hear me trying. Lawrence. Yeah. What law of Texas is it that if somebody says something you don't like, you can physically assault them?
See, now you're trying to twist it. No,
I'm not.
Like that.
Hold on.
You
Stop.
ain't getting off the hook
Lawrence,
like that.
Hold on. Stop. Just listen to me. Listen to me.
Listen, bro.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Listen to what you said.
No. Let me just correct you.
Let
me correct you.
Okay, correct me, Lawrence.
Here's where the correction is.
Correct me.
We're talking about not only ethical but moral, and we're also talking about legal, aspects.
Right.
Here is the rules of engagement. We call these the rules of engagement.
No, let's talk about the law first. Let's talk about the law first.
Oh, but this is the law.
All right, tell me about the law.
99. Look, the majority of people who carry a gun, we have to know the law.
So tell me about the law.
Rules of engagement.
So tell me. I'm right. I'm keep trying, but you're not listening.
Okay, here it is. I will tell you. In the first place, you do not have a right to walk around telling people to lower their voice.
Yes, you do.
Oh, my brother.
Yes.
I wish you would try it. Have you ever tried that?
Lawrence,
have you ever did it?
Lawrence, that's called freedom of speech. I can walk up to you. Hold on. Oh, my God. Just listen for a minute. I understand what you're saying.
You're making too much sense. You don't want to listen to that.
It offends your sensibility.
But you're making too much sense.
I have there's this thing called the Constitution. And there are so many amendments to the Constitution. But you got that first one, which says that you can say stuff. You have a right to what they call freedom of speech, which means I could walk up to you, Lauren. You don't even have to be talking. And I can walk up to you and say, bruh, shut your mouth, and walk on about my business. I'm allowed to do that in America. There is no law
Nobody's allowed to shoot you
anywhere in America that says because I say to you, lower your voice or shut your mouth, that gives you the right legally to physically assault me in any way, shape, or form. It just doesn't exist.
You know what, Emanuel?
Yes.
You love to talk hypotheticals, and I'm cool with
I'm
that.
not. Oh, my God.
How is that hypothetical? That is literally what the First Amendment means.
Here in the real world, this is what I'm trying to explain to y'all. Y'all can sit there and say whatever you want, Raven. You entitled to your own beliefs.
It's not a belief, Lawrence. It's just fact.
I tell you what. When was the last time you tried to exercise that fact?
I use it all the time. I use my First Amendment right all the time.
Telling people to shut up.
Yeah, from time to time, Lawrence. I if I feel like right now to tell you to shut up, you can't do nothing to me about it. You don't have that
Raven,
right.
Raven, here's the point. It's not a matter of right, because I'm not.
It is. We were talking about the law, Lawrence.
Listen. Here's the point.
What's the point?
If you walk up on me in the middle of a heated conversation or argument and tell me to lower my voice,
right?
The first thing I might do, depending on how you stand and how you approach me.
What might you do?
If you approach me in a threatening manner while you say that, I'm gonna take you out. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna put you on your ass. My foot gonna be in your face. No,
then you going to jail because you can't do it.
No.
Yeah. You going to jail, bro.
If there is a cop, you can go to jail. But when you go down to the jail and you explain and write it out what this person
you
did,
still catching the charge, bro.
I could say I fear for my life.
Because I told you to shut up.
All right, Lawrence.
Because I told you to lower your voice. You felt threatened.
Lawrence,
Man,
I appreciate your call, sir.
No, y'all tripping.
All right, I appreciate the call. 513-749-1230. That's the number to get on board. It's the afternoon experience. Now, but his belief ain't that far off. His belief ain't that far off from a lot of other people's belief. I'll tell you what I mean when we come back. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
WDC Cincinnati, home of the afternoon experience with Emanuel Livingston and keeping it real.
Tony says, just because you have the right doesn't mean you should engage. Well, I agree. Just because you have the right don't mean that you should engage. But you can't, it's not legal to assault somebody for telling you to lower your voice. Just imagine that. Hey, lower your voice. And you just socking somebody. What did he do? I fear for my life. What did he do? Well, he said lower your voice. You going to jail. You getting convicted. Shut up. What? I fear for my life. What did he do? He said shut up. You going to jail. You say I can't do your whole name. Y'all screaming jail, don't know jail and prison full of folks who don't give a damn about that and just react first. No, he was talking about legal. That's why I told him, tell me the law. He said, well, the law here in Texas. Well, tell me the law. You're not going to find a law in Texas that says if somebody tells you shut up, you can physically assault them. That law don't exist in Texas. Four minutes after the afternoon experience, I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until 3 o'clock. 513-749-1230. Story out of Nashville, Tennessee. Outside linebacker Bud Dupree. He's been charged with misdemeanor assault in connection with a physical altercation at a Walgreens. According to police, they cited Dupree on Tuesday morning after consulting with the district attorney's office. According to the citation, a Walgreens employee argued with some people shopping around 8 p.m. The people left and came back into the store with Dupree, who then grabbed the victim and his phone, followed by the altercation, after the altercation, Dupree left. And the story, basically, somebody had their phone out and they were recording. Some people didn't want to be recorded, apparently. He told them to stop. But believe it or not, you can't make people not record you in public. You can't do that. People have a right to record you. If you don't want to be recorded, you got to create your own privacy. That's the law, even in Texas. And so because somebody's recording you or somebody says something to you or somebody looks at you a certain way, you can't just haul off and assault them. You get arrested. They arrest people for that and convict them. Or, give them an opportunity to plead like no contest, and they might give them, depending on if it's minor injuries or something like that, some type of diversion program or something like that. But yeah. So because somebody said, if you don't know this, I want you to know this, because I don't want you walking around like Lawrence thinking you can just do stuff to people because you don't like what they're doing. People can record you. They can take out their phones or a camera and record you. So I don't want to be recorded. Then don't come outside. People can say stuff to you. What did you say? I said, shut up. That don't give you the right to assault people. So let's not do that, okay? Let me go back to the phone. 749-1230. GC.
Emanuel Livingston.
Hey.
Listen, you better leave that, Lawrence was almost caller of the year. You got a lot of people that likes him, so you better start respecting him, because he came close to being a caller of the year. So let's not act like Lawrence is a hot mess, because he was almost a caller of the year. I mean, so you got, come on. He was getting close. Am I right or wrong?
Well.
So you got a lot of your listeners. A lot of listeners of the Buzz who really likes Lawrence. So I just want to put that out there.
I don't know what that had to do with anything.
Because, he needs to be given more respect. I mean, he got a lot of people that like him.
What respect did I not give him?
I don't know. Just listen to him. He's right about almost everything. Now, I just wanted to put that out there.
All right.
I just want to get it out there. Now, Emanuel, we were talking about the subject of when people get involved. I think you already know that I'm the type that'll get involved. And I almost forgot that it did happen like that for me once over here on my street. I've been on my street for 21 years. So sometimes I do think I've owned my house over here that long. And sometimes I think I own the street. So I'm a hot mess. But a baby was crying. And it wasn't like days, but it was like a couple days or something. And I was wondering, I said, wow, and the baby would cry. And it seemed like our houses are too close or something, because I could just hear that baby crying. And one time I just opened up my window and I said, why the baby crying? Just in a nice, low voice. And she heard me. And so when, I don't know what she did, but the baby stopped crying. So the next time I saw him, I looked at the baby. He seemed fine. And she was telling me that she was trying to get him not to sleep in the room with her, because they have mothers that the baby sleep. And she said he would just cry until she would put him in the room with her. And she said, I'm trying to break him from that. And I believed her, because I've seen that happen in my own family. So, but that baby would, and I'm going to tell you something, Emanuel. Babies can cry so hard. I saw a baby cry so hard that she made herself sick. She just, it was nothing wrong. We had done everything. And she made herself sick. So babies can really be demanding, too. So it's kind of hard. But when that baby cried like that for a couple nights or something, it was like, I said, is something wrong with the baby? That's all I asked. And she heard me. So I guess she must have went and got him and put him in the bed. So, it's hard to say, but I think that I would say something if I'm hearing the baby cry. And again, I don't know if they heard the baby crying in the excess like I did, or maybe I'm just nosy like that one lady. I am nosy. I had a motorcycle guy. He was revving up and down this street. Man, it was a hot mess. It was so loud, that motorcycle. And I just raised the window up again, and he was slowing down. I said, why are you driving like that? Just as calm. And don't you know, I've not heard it since. It could be a coincidence. But I'm telling you, I've not heard it since. So I think sometimes we just ask a question, or we ain't got to be all rough and get all involved like our caller of the year almost. I think did he come in second? Because he's the vice. There was
like a 3 or 4 way tie for second.
Okay, because then he was in there. So like one our 3-way caller, second caller, vice second, wherever however we want to say that. I'm not gonna get all like him, but get all violent and all that kind of stuff, whatever, and on all of that. But I do think that we need to get involved, but I think we need to be mindful, too, be discerning. And I think it's how we get involved, but I do think we should.
All right.
Even if it costs us something sometimes.
All right. I agree with you.
Bye. And again, people like him, so leave him alone. Goodbye.
All right. Definitely don't tell him to shut up. He gonna knock you down and stomp on your face. That's horrible. That is horrible. 749-1230 is the number to get on board. Let me go back to the phone. Garrison?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Emanuel?
I'm fantastic.
And how you doing, Raven?
All right.
Yeah, Emanuel, I'm gonna apologize to you. I was just joking when I tried to get Raven to be the top-notch DJ with you, because you're the man to talk about, and that's your show. It's not a show. I'm just joking. But I want to ask you about, we have a right to record people, because if we didn't have recordings on our phone, they would really disrespect you.
So, I'm sorry, say that one more time.
I said, I'm glad that in society that we do have the power to record people. You just can't walk up to them, stick your camera up in their face. But if they're doing something in society it's not good, you're allowed to stand a distance away and record them, because you can educate them.
Well, hold on, but just to make sure that we're clear about what we're saying, Garrison, if I'm standing next to you in the elevator, I can pull out my phone and record you. You don't have to be doing nothing but standing in the elevator. I can record you. If you walking down the street and I'm walking right in front of you or right behind you, I can pull out my phone and I can record you.
I agree with you 100%.
All right.
But you can't, you have people, if you standing next to somebody about 6 feet, they'll try to reach for you sometime and try to stop you from recording, or
True.
they'll threaten you.
Mm-hmm.
Where I live at, I always thank God for cell phones with cameras where you can record people, because sometimes people will attack you or threaten to attack you, and you're not in the wrong. Where I live at, we have adults.
All right.
And I'm 73 years old. And, they really don't, they look at you like they hate you, like they want to gang you, because you recording them. They don't know how to conduct themselves. We have a laundry room. We have a laundry room in the building here, and they're on about 2 or 3 floors. And some of them are very dirty. They haven't been cleaned behind the laundry room, behind the laundry machines.
Okay.
They have paper, man. It's been back for, I thought about doing it myself, but I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I just recorded. But in our laundry room, it has been cleaned in about 18, 20 months, maybe 3 years. Has a lot of paper behind it.
Is this like at an apartment complex or something?
This is yes. This building here has
12 floors.
Have you brought it to the attention of building management?
I brought it to their attention, and I've also showed it to them on camera. And I told them, I said, even before you got here, this behind these washing machines, they've been dirty like this for since I've been here, and I've been here for 9 years. There's just a lot of paper behind it, where they just don't clean it up. They don't clean behind the washing machines.
Oh.
But anyway, we have people in this building. They're very immature because their children, well, I ain't gonna say their children because their children are about in their 30s or 40s, and they're very ignorant. They come in, they want to do things in the hallway that people don't like, so they put cameras in the hallway on every floor.
Okay.
We have 12 floors here.
All right.
And sometimes people want to sleep in the hallway. They don't do that no more.
But you're telling me all of this to say,
well, the people that's in the wrong, they don't want you to record this. And I've taken it to City Hall and showed them some pictures of people laying in the hallway naked.
City Hall?
Yeah.
Why City Hall?
Well, I used to talk to Paul Booth. I used to talk to Scotty Johnson.
But is it a privately owned building?
No, this building here, I tell you where I stay at. Right across the street from the library. It's called Warner Towers. It's strict. It's very strict now. It's very, very strict. But we have a lot of people that are moved in. They're like in their 50s or 60s, and they're kind of very immature because they don't want to.
They in their 50s and 60s and they sleeping in the hallway naked.
Sometimes they befriend people, but like I said, they have cameras. They don't put a stop to it. They used to sleep.
Oh, okay. Yes, they put a stop to it. Have they cleaned behind the washing machine?
Not the one on the 5th floor.
All right. Well, I would stay on building management about that. All right.
No, they're not gonna do anything. But anyway,
all right.
So how you been doing?
I've been doing all right.
Okay. Well, look here. What do you take? Now I'm gonna take those shots.
What?
I haven't taken them yet. Now I'm 73 years old, so I'm gonna take them because I'm a grandfather and I'm at that age now, and I get that old age walk. And now you're 52 years old. You haven't taken any shots, but you're not considered as being an old man, right?
I'm an old man, yes.
Okay, well, I'm 73. Do you consider me old?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, nice talking to you.
All right. All right. 513-749-1230. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
Here's what you need to know with Sybil Will.
Darlene says, if you can record anyone, then why the police try to stop you from recording and sometimes take your phone? You especially have a right to record police in the course of their duties. The Supreme Court has ruled on that. So why do they do it? I guess because they can and because people don't file complaints when they do it. But you especially have a right to record police in the course of their duties. He did seem a little surprised that I thought he was old. But he asked me, you 52, which I'm not 52 yet, but it's just 1 year. You 52, do you consider yourself an old man? I say yes. It's just my reasoning. It stands to reason then that if you're 73, I consider you an old man. Like, do you think I'm thinking Benjamin Button and that we age backwards? No, if I believe 51 is old, then you know I believe 73 is old. Why would you ask that question? And what was I supposed to say? No, not you. Yeah, you old. You 73. I'm old. I'm 51. That's nothing to be offended about being old. But for him, that was the end of the conversation. He didn't want to hear nothing else I had to say after finding out that I consider him an old man. Raven, you're 28. You consider yourself a young person? So you consider yourself a young person? My granddaughter is 4. Do you consider her a young person? I'm offended. It doesn't make sense that I would be offended using that logic. Yes, 28 is young. What about 4? Yes, 4 is young. It's younger than... I'm sorry, y'all. I know everybody else done heard it and they moved on. But I don't understand sometimes the thought processes that go into this stuff. Jenna says, it's sad that people don't or won't understand that crying is a baby's only means of communicating. It's their way of talking. They're not trying to annoy anyone. Absolutely. Brent says old is a relative term. It is. Black Wolf Fish still trying to find out about my religious beliefs. Oh. He's talking about the Dutch Reformed Church. Oh, you got me, Black Wolf Fish. I'm a member of the Dutch Reformed Church. Oh, that is funny. That is funny. Woo. He says the only Christian denominations that cite a theological reason for opposing vaccines are the Dutch Reformed Church, the Church of Christ, and scientists. You might have misspelled that last one. You might have. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe scientists is a religion, and I just don't know it. And no, it does not say Scientologists. It says scientists. Oh, that is hilarious. He tried to narrow me down. Oh. Oh, that is funny. "23 minutes after." It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. 513-749-1230. Real quick, Donald Trump, your former president, he's canceled his January 6th press conference. that he was scheduled to hold at his Mar-a-Lago home. He announced it in a statement. He'll be doing, the former president said he'll address the issues that he was going to discuss on January 6th at a rally on January 15th. He says, in light of the total bias and dishonesty of the January 6th unselect committee of Democrats, 2 failed Republicans, and the fake news media, I am canceling the January 6th press conference at Mar-a-Lago on Thursday, and instead will discuss many of these important topics at my rally on Saturday, January 15th in Arizona. It will be a big crowd. What is wrong with that man? What is wrong with that man? Why? And what is wrong with the Republican Party that supports that person? Like, look, he knows what he did to gin up January 6th. And reports are he saw it and he was just giddy about it. He was happy watching the violence that he was watching on TV. All right. And then, so he wants to, on the anniversary, when, because y'all know people like anniversaries and stuff like that. So on the anniversary, when, things are a little heightened, he wants to have a press conference to gin up more energy in the already heightened state that the idiots who support him, and yes, I'm talking about the idiots, not that everybody who supports him is an idiot, but there are definitely idiots that support him. I'm going to just say it's questionable if everybody who supports him is an idiot. So I'm saying not necessarily 100%, but we're not necessarily talking about what I believe. We're talking about what I can prove. But the idiots that support him, he definitely wants to gin them up on the anniversary, probably hoping that somebody say, hey, let's have a redo. So somebody somewhere talked him out of it, like, bruh, really, on January 6th, we already look bad enough. Like, you're going to make us look even worse.
He going to do something still. I still believe he going to make a video. He going to post a video on the internet somewhere. He going to do something. Because that's the people who committed them acts on January 6th, that is who going to vote for him in 2024. And you got to expect that he's going to run for president in 2024.
So he was talked down, but he still plans on doing something on the. What is wrong with the party that won't just say, we don't support you anymore? You damaged our country. You tried to overthrow our democracy. We don't support you anymore. What happened to the days when politicians would say that about some of the stuff that this guy has done? I don't want to lose any votes. Any
Donald
of these
Trump
Republican supporters.
He got a chokehold on the GOP. And they allowed it to happen on purpose. And it's going to remain that way until that man dies.
It's horrible. Horrible. And they just down with it. I don't, they gave those speeches, like on the 7th? When they were still a little scared. And then at his impeachment, when they wasn't sure which way the wind was going to blow. And they got up there talking about Donald Trump was responsible. His rhetoric fueled it. And then they said, oh, wait a minute. That's not the way the wind is blowing. The wind is blowing this way. What do you think about January 6th? Oh, it was just another day. You guys are making too much of it. It was just what did they say? A field trip. It was just a field trip. You guys are making too much of it because that's the way the wind is blowing. Like when his approval ratings were 29%, they were comfortable coming out saying he was wrong and what he did was wrong and he fed that energy and he was partially responsible and he should have to pay a price, whatever that price may be it censure or whatever. because his approval ratings was at 29%. Why don't you just do what's right for the country? But they are Republicans. They are Republicans. Let me get a break in here. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
The Chris Morning Show.
Zuri says 90% of the Republican legislators don't believe those folks on January 6th did anything wrong. They do. They know they did something wrong. Not all of them said it, but enough of them said it to let you know that they know that it was wrong. They're not going on right or wrong now. They're not going on right and wrong. They're going on, I don't want to alienate his supporters. So I would say 90% of the Republican legislators don't want to make his voting base mad. So they say they don't believe that those folks on January 6th did anything wrong. B-Rab says, I'm so tired of voting for old white dudes with gray hair. David Dowdy says, I think he is scientist. Oh. Yes, Nikki, they even claimed it was Antifa. They've tried everything. Yeah, Ohio had 3 Republican senatorial candidates running commercials based on Trump's back. Blade, we know that's you. Oh, I got no problem with you, Blade, but we know that that's you. Everybody knows Heineke, and Blade are the same person. Different characters, but the same person. William says, remember, it's the Democratic Republican Party since day one. They are the same individuals. Yes, and Boost. Hey, I'm all right with Blade. Y'all don't like Blade, some of y'all, but I'm all right with Blade. Charles says we on the clock to doom. He didn't use those words. He talked about typhoons and something or another. Now he's talking about ice sheets and glaciers melting. In short, he's saying we're on the clock to doom. We're on the clock to doom. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel. I'm with you for the next 25 minutes. This is interesting to me. I'd never, of course, paid much attention to this. There are a number of states, Tennessee being the latest, to require hairstylists to complete domestic violence training. I didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah. They talk about the relationship between hairstylists and a client, and that in Tennessee, they're the latest state to require cosmetologists to complete training on how to recognize and respond to signs of domestic abuse. I didn't know that was a thing. Suzanne Post, a salon owner and survivor of domestic abuse, who worked with the local YWCA, brought the idea of such a requirement to legislators. She says the relationship that beauty professionals have with their clients is very special. We hear everything. And so being able to be equipped with resources that could potentially save lives or potentially lead someone toward the right counselor or the right helper is so important. I didn't know that was a thing. I wonder, is that a thing in Ohio?
I actually love that idea because it is quite true. The woman who does your hair, typically in the midst of her doing your hair, especially if it's a style that takes quite a bit of time, y'all are talking about just about any and everything. Y'all are getting deep into relationship talk and all kind of stuff. And so it does check out that at some point you might mention something to your hairstylist about whatever situation is going on in your household. And if she can pick up on that and sense that you might be going through some domestic violence, she might be able to help you.
Well, they say under the law that went into effect on January 1st, beauty professionals must complete up to an hour of training on how to recognize and respond to signs of domestic violence. Now, the law does not require mandatory reporting, but it gives them resources. It gives them resources. So I guess I'm with it. I didn't know it was a thing, but I saw the story and thought I would bring that information to you. The National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233. Or they say you can text the words "love is," no space, "love is," all caps, "love is," LOVEIS, to 22522. 22522. Love is. Again, I genuinely didn't know that was a thing, but and if that's not a thing in Ohio, why not? Why not? Yeah. That's the law in Tennessee and in a number of other states. That's a thing. So I'm with it. 749-1230. Glenn.
Emanuel?
Yes, sir.
I don't get you, man. How is it that you can't call Lawrence a liar when he's obviously lying, but you won't go ahead and make that jump and call Trump supporters damn fools? Or what did you call them? Crazy
idiots.
Idiots. I mean, and I say that I understand what we're going to give that small fraction of people who act like they got some damn sense. Well, we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Because outside of that, Emanuel, they act like some damn fools.
Well, that's what I was doing. I was giving that very, 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 very small percentage.
Right. With a super small V.
Yes.
They don't get the capital V. They get the small one that you need a brain spec to see it type of V.
S-P-E-C-T.
I know. These people kill me. Actually, I wanted to call in and give you a couple of, my Captain Save-A-Ho stories that I had back in the day. And, the whole idea. Well, actually, what I originally called to tell you, man, was that the village or the looking out after a neighbor, man, that's gone, quite honestly. And I use my own life as an example. We had more of it takes a village to look after your neighbor attitude when I lived in College Hill over there on South Lynbrook than I ever had living over on Ledgewood in North Avondale.
And they damn sure don't have it out here in Mason because everybody kind of keeps to themselves. They're like, they're in their own little world. And those days are just past. I mean, it's maddening. It's a little disappointing, but I quite honestly, people just don't want to get involved in other people's situations. And, like I said, I was going to call in and tell you about a situation I had. Our very first wedding anniversary dinner, took my wife to Carrabba's out here in Mason. And we're sitting at our table, and it was kind of packed, and people were waiting to get seated. And there was a older, these two white women. One was a little bigger. She was kind of a big girl. And she was there with her sister. They looked like they were in their 70s and 80s type. All right. So anyway, so we're sitting there, and all of a sudden I heard a thud, like boom, and I'm like, okay, what is that? You hear people like, ooh, and I look around, and the lady that I saw there at the counter who was behind us before we got seated, she had fallen on the ground, the kind of heavier set woman. So, Emanuel, nobody got up and did anything. So my reaction was I jumped up, helped her to, the little bench that they have for people that are waiting and everything, asked the waitress, can you get this lady a cup of water? And, everything was everything. But I was mad that nobody did anything. They just sat there. So I get back to my table. I get back to the table. My wife's like, there you go again. You got to save everybody. I was like, no, that's not the point. I was like, if that would have happened to you, I would have hoped that somebody would have stood up and at least, helped you get a seat, just see your, how good, if you're doing okay, your well-being. And then I had another example, which it's not one of those where they didn't want me to do anything. I just thought the reaction from the grandmother, it just stuck in my brain. But our very first home, I used to live right off of Butler Warren and Fields Erdel. People know who live out here. They know that they don't have sidewalks. And on Butler Warren Road, going up towards Fields Erdel, there's nothing like drainage ditch, I guess you can say. Well, anyway, it was one of those snowy nights, and I had to run to the store real quick. I believe, like my son, he needed some milk, so I was going to go to a little convenience store. So I see this car over in the little ditch with the driver's side door basically pressed up against the ground. So I pull over, and I'm like this lady who I eventually saw, her grandmother and her granddaughter. She looked like she was just coming out of the house for a little bit and was going to, run back in the house. So I got a lot of, like, house shoes. I think I had on, like, hospital scrubs because at this time I was working at the coroner's office, and, a jacket on. So I go to the passenger side of the car and open up the door, and I see this white woman and this little girl, and, I reach down, like, are you okay? The little girl immediately jumps into my arms, like, save me. And she had to be about maybe 5 or 6 years old. The grandmother kind of looked at me like, a black guy kind of looked. I don't know if that was her, if that's what she meant in her eyes, but that's the way I saw it. And I was like, oh, lady, don't worry about it. It's okay. So I take them, put them in my car, get the little girl out, which was easy because, again, I'm taking them from the passenger side. The grandmother was a little harder, but I got her out, put them in my car, called the police. They eventually came and got them, I guess they took them home, and came back and got the car because when I was coming back from the store, the tow truck was already coming up the street. But, those are just my two little stories. But I didn't do it because, I was trying to save the world. It was just my immediate reaction. I don't know if it was like my Cub Scout days, my Boy Scout days, being in the Army, or just something that...
Wait a minute. Hold on. Just for the record, that second story, what did you do?
Pulled them out of the car.
They couldn't get out the car?
No, the driver's side door was in the ditch.
What about the passenger door?
The passenger door was above ground.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Look, the left side of the car is up against the ground in the ditch. The right side of the car, the passenger side, you can still get to the door.
All right.
Now you see the scenario now?
So they just didn't feel comfortable getting out?
No, the little girl immediately jumped, like, save me, But the grandmother, she just had this look in her eye, like,
So they had gotten into like an accident or something, and the car flipped over?
Yeah, they did. They slid off the road.
Got you.
Yeah, they slid off the side of the road.
Well, but I'm glad you went to assist them. I don't know that you actually did anything though. That's all I'm just.
Well, I put them in it was cold as hell. I mean, I could have just drove out like that. Ain't my problem. Let me go ahead and get my little milk and my.
You let them. Okay, you let them get in your car to stay warm.
until the police came.
Okay. That's
Good, yeah. I let him stay in my car until the police came. I mean, it was cold. I remember this was Manuel. This was probably about 15 years ago, I guess. No, it had to be longer. About 20-something years ago, because I was at the coroner's office. But yeah, just let him sit in my car until the police came.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they eventually came, and like I said, they were like, "Sir, you okay?" Blah blah blah. You know, well, do you guys need anything? Then I go to the store, and like I said, when I was coming back home, the tow truck was coming up the street to take the car away, and then the police car, the first cruiser had already left. I guess I assumed they were taking them home.
All right.
But like I said, I don't know what the grandmother was thinking, but she just had that startled look in her eye until I said, "You're okay. Come on, I can help you." Put him in my car, and everything was everything. I didn't think any more about it, Emanuel. I really didn't. But the attitude of I'm not going to get involved, or I do things because I got it. Just like you. I'm pretty sure you feel the same way. If someone in your family was in that position, you would hope that there was some complete stranger that would just do the right thing and help.
Yes.
And and I understand your argument about the neighbor, but Emanuel, in many ways, I kind of disagree with you. I don't think that neighbor 2 doors down should feel. I mean, I know she feels guilt because she heard these babies crying, and now that one's dead and one's in ICU, she probably has that guilt on her heart. But my question was, what's up with the immediate neighbor in apartment B if the kids are in apartment A?
Well, I'm not saying that the lady should feel guilty. As a matter of fact, I started off the show by saying she's not responsible. She didn't do anything wrong. She's not required to make the call and all that kind of stuff. I don't believe any of that. But I think kind of the mindset was, my mindset is, if you hear a kid crying to the point that you looking at your husband and y'all saying, "I think somebody abusing that kid," out loud to one another, it might not be a bad idea to make a phone call. And if you look, I ain't got time to be making no phone call to be worried about if no kids is being abused, then maybe don't call in the radio station to tell people your story.
Right. Okay. I get your point. But again, I can just imagine that particular neighbor. She probably has a heavy heart right now, and I didn't want to put any extra weight on that heart.
None at all.
Her thinking that the community is saying, "Oh, you didn't do anything to save them," and the ultimate responsibility, unfortunately, is on 2 freaking 19-year-olds.
Agreed.
And if I'm not mistaken, this 19-year-old woman, she got 3 other kids or 2 other kids.
I don't know.
It was. I think I thought someone said that before. So, I mean, again, I'm not here to judge. I had kids later on in my life, so I mean, but it is what it is. But yeah, when I saw your comments, I didn't know what angle you were trying to reach. But again, I didn't want to put any more weight on that woman's heart than she's probably already feeling right now. She's dealing with. I think she said she has 5 kids, and her husband has MS.
Yes.
So she got a lot on her plate.
She does.
To begin with, anyway.
She does. Glenn, I appreciate your call.
Hey, you have a good one, man. And stop calling on people. And you know what? Stop being a damn chaos agent. What happened? What did you do, man? Don't tell the truth. What did you do? You pissing off all the MAGA black Republican types? Now they don't like you either?
An agent of
Old
chaos.
people and black Republicans don't like you, man. You need your brains back. $3,000.
$3,500. It's only 75% off. Yeah.
Look, I said I was going to do it on the low for $1,500. Like stick an Xbox controller on the head or something. I don't know what I was going to do.
Glenn, I got to run.
Hey, you have a good one, man.
All right. 513-749-1230. That's the number to get on board. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
All the news and information you need is just
I'm not going to lie. If I'm at the restaurant and a older lady, I don't care if she's white or black, an older lady, heavy set, just out of nowhere, just fall. I'm probably just laughing for a minute. You got to look and make sure she's all right. It might take me a while to be the one to go over there to be like, "Hey, can I help you up? Can somebody get her a drink of water?" I got this thing with people falling. if you just sitting there, you just standing there, and I got this thing with that, and I might not be as helpful as Glenn. I might not be as helpful. I'm just me. I might not. I might. But I might not. I mean, I'm thinking I'm at the restaurant to eat. Is there a doctor in the house? You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to be more qualified than me. Somebody. Can I help you up? Maybe, depending on how long she was laying there and everybody was looking. Ain't nobody gonna help. And can I be honest? Can I be honest? And forgive me if this, but I'm just trying to be honest. It's an old white lady. And I'm up in Mason. So that means there's a whole lot of white people standing around. And don't none of them step in to do nothing? I need to know, is this a hidden camera show? And am I going to, be accused of doing something? Like I went over to be like an ambulance, and then she woke up like, get it. I don't know. I don't know. I'll just, yes, I got to get the laugh out and look around and make sure ain't nobody else helping. Like, really? She's been down there for like 3 whole minutes. 3 whole minutes, and ain't nobody gonna do nothing. So now it's up to me. It's up to me. There's not a doctor in the house. Is there a nurse? EMT? Fireman? Anything? No? Okay. Ma'am, is she woke? If she ain't woke, how do you wake up a passed out person? You slap them, right? That's how you wake them up. Slapping works for passed out people and people who are panicking. Me and Mrs. Livingston debate this all the time. I believe it. I've seen enough movies. Slapping works for people who are passed out and people who are panicking. So I'm more likely to be looking at the other lady that was with her who's panicking. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Calm down. That works. It's a medical fact. You can slap people out of panic. It's a medical scientific fact. Now, you don't slap them like you would slap Lincoln Ware if you see him without a mask. You know, it's not the same slap. Lincoln, no mask. You come from way back here and you bring it down. A panicking person, it's just a. 7 minutes. 7 minutes till the top of the hour. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. I mean, we got like 7 minutes. Kelly.
Hey, Emanuel Livingston. This is Kelly Prather. How are you?
I'm fantastic. And you?
I'm blessed and highly favored. Emanuel, I think that Tennessee Domestic Violence Initiative is amazing. I'm not going to be so quick to say what should be required of the cosmetologists here in the state of Ohio, because I'm a licensed professional and I know how everybody's always apt to say like what we should do or what should be required to keep our license. But I do think that it would be amazing for them to have some courses on domestic violence. Cosmetologists and barbers hear it all. A salon visit is extremely therapeutic, and in the process of helping their clients to look good, cosmetologists, if they have the right training, they can be equipped to encourage and empower their clients to get the help that they need to create an exit plan. The thing that hits home for me is that, I have a niece, Ariane Walker, who is the owner of Versatile Styles, and she tells me some of the stories, or we've had conversations, and she doesn't tell me her clients' names, but she talks about how, she sees bruises on her clients' necks, and, she can tell that they're dealing with something. And, after that visit, if you're able to say, hey, I know we've had this conversation, let me direct you to a place where you can get the help that not only you need, but also the help that you can provide for your children to make sure that you all are safe. And Emanuel, I just recently wrote a book. I want to get you a copy of my book. Oh. It's part one of a series of books, and the title was Buffy's Labor of Love. Most people know me as Buffy, and that was coined, the series title was coined by Joe Mallory, the president of the Cincinnati NAACP, and it is centered on domestic violence. So when you said this today, my heartstrings were pulled, and I'm like tugged on, and I'm like, let me call and say, I really want to start a ministry to empower women who are in domestic violence situations to have a relationship with God. The book is a faith-based memoir, and it's centered, like I said, on domestic violence, and it talks about how important it is to have a relationship with a higher power as it relates to our survival. There's so many different layers of domestic violence, layers to domestic violence. If you got kids who are involved, whether you're the biological parent or not, you see that your spouse is abusive. There's so many different layers to domestic violence that, we could talk for days about this, but I think that initiative is amazing. So I'll definitely make sure that I get you a copy of my book, and I want Raven to come to my book signing. I'm inviting her to my book signing when I have it, but this is something that would just help a lot of families. I want to dispel the myth. One of the old myths was that what goes on in this house stays in this house. Absolutely, positively not. If you see something, say something. If somebody's hurting you, I just want every woman out there, every woman, man, boy, or girl who is in an abusive situation to know that if something is hurting you, you deserve so much better, and God is empowering you to walk. I'm encouraging you to walk because God wants more for you. So I'm excited. I'm going to look into that initiative and see if it's something that the cosmetologists and the barbers who I know are interested in getting involved in. But thank you so much for bringing that up. I really appreciate that. Happy New Year to you and Raven. Have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. I appreciate the call. 513-749-1230. I got like 3 minutes or so. Ghislaine Maxwell, however you pronounce her name, she might be getting off. She might actually get a mistrial. Why might she get a mistrial? Because one of the jurors revealed during deliberations that they were a victim of past sexual violence. Yeah, it was a man. He admitted that he opened up about his own abuse during deliberations when other people in the deliberation room questioned the credibility of 2 of the women testifying against Miss Maxwell. So here, they give them a questionnaire. And on the questionnaire, one of the questions they ask them is, have they ever been a victim of sexual abuse? And of course, if you answer yes, then they ask, do you have the ability to serve fairly and impartially? And the thinking is, now they got to go back and look, but the thinking is, if he would have answered yes, we would have probably tried to get that juror struck. So they're believing he answered no. And then you can't answer no and then be in the deliberation room basically testifying. He's saying, He told them that he had been a victim of abuse. He says the room went silent, and then he detailed his past, telling them that just like the witnesses, he could only remember some of the details. He also told jurors how he waited until high school before telling anybody about the abuse. Because some of the witnesses were saying, why would they wait so long? So he possibly lied and then basically testified in the deliberation room. Her lawyers say, yeah, they was already going to appeal, but this might be the thing to get a mistrial declared. Oh my goodness. Let me get ready to get out of here. Raven, thank you for everything that you do. I appreciate you. Everybody who called, everybody who listened, I appreciate you. I really do. If you're watching on the live stream, thank you for your support. Al Sharpton is up next. It's been the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. Until next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.
12:30.
All right. Yes, he should have kept his mouth shut. He should have kept his mouth shut. But if they find out that he lied, she getting a mistrial. And then they might even, just because he's admitting that he was in there testifying basically to his experiences and why they should believe the witnesses, that might be, I'm not saying it will. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. Why the Lincoln without a mask slap got to be harder than the slap for a person being hysterical? Because the person being hysterical, I'm just trying to get them, just snap them out of it. Stop being hysterical. Come to your senses, woman. Because it's usually women. Come to your senses, woman. But with Lincoln, he just being hard-headed. And he understood that it's kind of like what Pharaoh was saying. Some people learn the first time and some people got to learn the hard way. If you got to learn the hard way, it's got to be hard. Like, really, really hard. Like, slap contest hard. Y'all ever watched any of them slap contests? They be literally knocking people out. I seen somebody get slapped and got knocked clean out. That's the kind of slap you need. If you bold enough to ask somebody to slap you, that's the kind of slap you should get. I do not want to slap Lincoln. I have no desire to slap Lincoln. I'm actually only doing it because he asked for it. It's going to hurt everything inside of me. It's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt him. It's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt him. If it ever has to happen. I don't want to do it. I mean, just the thought of it. You can't see the anguish. You can't see the anguish in my face thinking about it. Yeah, I don't want to do it. Not at all, Jerica. Not at all. It'll break my heart. It will break my heart. If it ever happens. Which I hope that it doesn't. I hope that it doesn't. Because I hope that it doesn't for a few reasons. Number one, I don't take Lincoln's word for it that if I slap the fire out of him, he's just going to be comfortable with it. Like, oh, I brought that on myself.
Okay, I brought that on myself. I shouldn't have been. No, that's not gonna happen. There's no part of me that believes that's not gonna happen. He's not gonna be like reflective and thinking about the fact that he asked for it. He gonna be ready to fight. And so, in order to help him, look at the peril that I'm putting myself in. This Marine is gonna try to fight me. No, I'm not going to jail. You don't go to jail because someone asks you to hit them and you do it. I might actually go to jail. But if it goes to anywhere, Mr. Ware, did you ask him to hit you? Well, I mean, yeah, I asked him to do it, but I didn't think he was going to do it. That don't work. Hold on. So you did ask him to do it. Okay, yeah, I asked him to do it, okay? There you go. Not guilty. Go home, Mr. Livingston. Who's going to win the fight? It's not really going to be a fight. I keep telling y'all, I will not fight Lincoln. There is no win for me in a fight with Lincoln. If I beat Lincoln's ass, I just beat a 78-year-old's ass. That's not, like, oh yeah, I beat the mess out of that 78-year-old. I'm the champ. No. And if Lincoln beat me, you got your ass beat by a 78-year-old man. There is no win for me. I'm either picking on a 78-year-old man or I'm getting beat up by a 78-year-old man. There is no win for me. All I can do is cover up. I thought you couldn't exercise your right with violence. He asked me to do it. It was a request that he made live over the air. Everybody heard him. Richard thinks Lincoln will beat the brakes off of me. We ain't never gonna find out. I'm not fighting a 78-year-old man. Okay, Richard, you think Lincoln will beat the brakes off of me? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. Let's say you're wrong and I beat the brakes off of him. What did I accomplish? I beat the brakes off a 78-year-old man. What? Who walks around proudly like, you know what I did last night? Now, what did you do? I saw the 78-year-old man. I beat the out of him. And high fives everywhere. High fives. Nobody does that. Like, you did what? To a how old man? Man, you was a bit, you know. What? But I won. Nobody's saying that's a good thing. Nobody. Lincoln did say he was gonna punch me in the face on his last day. Keep telling y'all, just cover up. Just cover up. That's it. That's what a senior citizen, yes. One of the elders, one of the ancestors comes and physically attacks you. You just cover up. They little bony fists, you know what I'm saying? You just make sure the little bony fists don't harm you too bad. Who fights with the ancestors? So, yeah, I wouldn't be slapping him for a fight. I would be slapping him because that was what he requested. But I know what it feels like, because I told y'all when I was in high school, we used to have this thing where we would slap the cookies out of each other's hand. I don't really remember why we used to do it, but it was fun to wait till the person was on their last bite, when it was a good batch. Because, it's good batches of cookies and not so good batches of cookies. Like the peanut butter cookies, they not cooked hard enough, or the chocolate chip cookies, it's cooked just right. Like the right level of crispy with just the right level of bendability. You're like, these cookies are perfect. You eat that first one, because they came 2 in a pack at high school. You eat that first one, you eating on that second one, and then when you ball that little package up, because you just took the last bite out and you about to pop it in your mouth, and then you come up. And you want to fight. You want to fight. But you can't fight because it's a part of the game. He would not understand that. It would be a fight with him. What kind of high school did you go to? I'd be mad as hell if somebody smacked food out of my hand. It's not necessarily the high school. It's just the goofy friends that I hung around with. We did goofy stuff like that. And I'm telling you, I remember the feeling when you got the perfect peanut butter cookie and you done threw that, took the last piece out the bag, you ball up the bag, you throw the bag in the garbage because you savoring the thought of that last bite. And when you walking away and you go to put it to your mouth, and you want to fight. But it was fun. I know it's so stupid. It is so stupid, but it was fun as heck, as long as you wasn't the one getting the thing slapped out of your hand. And that, yes, we didn't just do it with cookies, but cookies is what I remember the most, because y'all know my issue with sweets. So cookies is what I remember the most. But yeah, we would do it with anything. And I don't know why. I, to this day, do not know why, but it was fun. Because you be ready to fight, but you can't fight. And then everybody, who kind of in on it. It was like 4 of us. And so all these 3 people laughing and all you just looking at your cookie. And there's a little voice in your head saying, just pick it up. Just pick it up. And you can't pick it up. You can't pick it up and eat it. But it's a little voice in your head that you're arguing with. Because it's saying, pick up the cookie. Pick up the cookie. And you saying, I can't eat that daggone cookie. It's on the ground. Ain't no telling what's been on that ground. Ain't nothing been on that ground. Plus, if you just pick it up and eat it, you boosting your immune system. God made dirt, and dirt don't hurt. So you just eat the cookie, and then anything that's on the cookie that shouldn't be on the cookie, you eat it, and if it don't kill you, now you're immune to it. No, that's nasty. I can't do that. Do I really get immunity? You know what I'm saying? That whole conversation happens in your head that quick. You have a whole conversation about whether or not you can pick up the cookie and eat it. Yes, some people did have a 3-second rule. Some people could pick up the cookie and eat it. I was never one that could pick up the cookie and eat it. Tony says, I'm picking up my last bite. That's just me.
Oh no, I was never pick it up and eat it. I was just always mad and heartbroken because my mouth, my throat, my taste buds, my stomach, everything was ready for it just to savor that last bite. And now my only options are just go without that last bite, or maybe go, if it ain't too late, buy another pack of cookies, hope that it's a good pack, because that's always, you got to hope. Because I don't know why they can't just make them the same every time. Nah, they trying to rush them out, since some of them half cooked, or they leave them in too long. Why they can't just make them the same? Now, every cookie should be the perfect cookie. So it's either go do that and then eat them, you gotta, when you get to that last cookie, you gotta protect yourself and you gotta eat it fast so you don't get a chance to savor it, which is almost as much torture as having the last cookie slapped out of your hand. You got the perfect cookie and you don't get to savor it. You gotta scarf it down. That's torture. But that's what we put ourselves through. Why? So we could be men. That's right. That made men out of us. That made men out of us. If you never experienced that, you might not be a real man. You might not be a real man. You just playing at being a man. I don't understand. I really don't understand why they couldn't make the cookies the same. It does bother me. You gotta hope you get the right cookies. Yes, smacking food out of somebody's hands made us real men. Yes. But they do it now even, not the smacking cookies part. But, Tria, they do it now. There are these cookies. They're toffee. It's a toffee cookie. They have them periodically at Buskin, and they have them periodically at Grater's. Periodically, they have them. And you gotta get, sometimes they hard and crispy. I guess some people like them like that. Sometimes, I just bit the inside of my lip. Sometimes they're soft, but they too soft like they have done. But every once in a while, you find them and somebody, the baker, God reached down and touched that baker and touched his hands and touched his heart and touched the oven and touched the timer. And the baker did everything right. And them cookies, they have the right amount of done. They're not necessarily crisp, but they're done all the way. And they kind of bend just a little bit, but not too much, because they be, and they're, I don't even know how to describe it, but they've been kissed by God just every once in a while. But it's hard to find them. It's hard to find them when they're like that. God does not bless cookies as much as he should. And I keep trying to get these companies to be consistent. And the problem is you can't always, like sometimes I can go in and I can look at them and I can tell like, no, that ain't right. And I just turn around and I walk back out. But other times, I have to touch them and kind of mash on the package just a little bit and see, do it give and then come back, or do it just give and stay there? If it give a little bit and then it come back, Jesus. and the Holy Spirit was inside of that person baking them cookies. And then he got in the oven with them. Just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He got in the oven. But it's very rare. Miracles don't happen that often. Miracles don't happen that often. So every once in a blue moon, I go check. And, it's very rarely. So, sometimes I'll bow them and then I'll take one and I'm like, oh, that ain't good. And then I give it away to somebody. Oh, and can I say to y'all, I'm not preaching about cookies. I'm just explaining that the lack of consistency is irritating. Can I tell y'all, I don't hate homeless people or panhandlers, but I'm not giving money to the people at the exit ramp. I'm sorry. I respect y'all hustle, but if it's a whole team of y'all working together, and then I don't ever see y'all like sleep outside, under the bridge, under the overpass, in a tent somewhere. Y'all all show up like on the bus together and then work as a team and get out there and make all of that money. I can't get it, y'all. I don't believe y'all homeless. I don't believe y'all in need. I believe y'all just trying to get people with good hearts money. If you homeless and you in this area every day, and I don't ever see you sleeping, you know what I'm saying? Y'all work shifts. Y'all got the look like when you stop at the light, they make sure they make eye contact with you. Like they done thought it out. Like if you make eye contact. Then they're more apt to give you money. So you sitting there in your car, you trying to look forward, and they like with their little sign, and then walk to the next one. Why are our eyes meeting? I am looking straight forward. How are you leaning that far so that our eyes can meet and you stand over there on the side? This is a thing. Y'all got a little hustle going. Y'all ain't homeless. Y'all ain't I can't give y'all. I don't trust y'all to give y'all money. And I know, when some of the news stations, they be following these people and stuff. The news stations, they be following these people and stuff. Gonna find out they live in a house and, I think they making more money than me. And people be like, well, go get a job. Be like, they got a job. This is their job, to hustle your money. No, ma'am. All right. Have a wonderful day. So, yeah, I don't trust it. I don't give them money no more. So,
Yeah, I don't trust it. Y'all got a team. And I saw them, and I promise y'all, I'm not making this up. Some of this is my perception. Some of this is my perception. Some of it I saw. There was a guy who was not a part of their team who was standing out there with a sign. And they was getting ready to jump dude. And I don't know exactly what they were saying. This is perception is they was telling dude, this is our hustle. This ain't your MF hustle. But yeah, they was getting ready to beat dude up and told him they can't be there or he can't be there begging for money because, you know, basically that's their turf. And I did hear the one dude tell him if he come back around here that he gonna F him up. And I'm like, how you homeless ain't gonna F up another homeless dude for trying to, you know, work his homelessness to eat? Yeah, Now, I'm not saying that's all homeless people, but I don't even believe these people is necessarily homeless. Like I said, I ain't never seen them sleep on the street in some tent up under that little overpass. I never seen them. Like, I would think, I'll be driving, I'll be like, I don't see no sleeping bags or nothing up under here. Where is the, y'all homeless and y'all here every day. Y'all not homeless? Where y'all go where y'all catch the bus to? Where's y'all catching the bus to? So yeah, here, if they standing at the off ramp of the highway, making sure that they make eye contact, I'm sorry, I can't give them nothing. Now, I've seen people who I really did believe were homeless. They were, you know, maybe walking around, they had their little stuff. It looks like they backpack or something. So they had their stuff and, you know, they were just sitting somewhere. I'm like, that person might be homeless, so I might get him something. But I am going to tell you the truth. If you homeless and you got a dog, I'm not giving you anything. And I get people need company, whatever. But if you homeless and you walking around with a dog and the dog don't look hungry, I'm not giving you no money. Because I would have to imagine a homeless man's dog gonna look hungry, but you looking hungry, but the dog is all excited. Like the dog didn't learn how to look hungry. Oh, he happy. Oh, but you looking... No. You ain't fed that dog well fed, and you so hungry you can barely look up. No. I don't trust it. It might be the case, but I don't trust it. Now, if you got a dog and your dog looking hungry, like, is the dog growling? No, that's the stomach. Oh, you homeless and you got a dog. Here's something. You know, your dog got that dog looking good in the mud. They ain't feeding them dog no rats. They got money. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. I do like the lady said about the kids. Like, I pray for them and I plead the blood of Jesus. And I'll be like, all right,
Jesus, you know. If they're homeless, help them. If they're not, thank you for giving me the heart to not give them money. Okay, the dog might eat trash. Look, if the dog found some edible trash, then you share with the dog. No, I don't believe that. You homeless? You begging for money? I think you good. I think you good. And then there's this one gas station that I go to where there's a homeless dude. He sits there outside the door with his dog, or he kind of stands around. He's not sitting. He kind of stands around with his dog. And then he opens up the door when people go in. Like, you're not really providing a service. You know what I'm saying? You're not really providing me a service. Opening the door, or actually, because it's pushed. So he pushes the door open, and then when people coming out, he opens that door. All I kind of got to do is lean into the door and it's going to open. You're not providing me a service. And he looks at you when he opens the door like, you're not going to give me no money? Like, who are you, the doorman from the Jeffersons? No, I'm not giving you no money because you opened the door. I could open the door. It's not a good service. Not a good service. Come out. No, I'm not giving you no money for opening the door. Opening the Omicron covered door is providing a service. No, because I just lean into that bad boy with my shoulder, walk right in. If I got a little Omicron on my shoulder, I think I'll be all right. I think I'll be all right. Yeah, little Omicron. I'm not taking my shirt. You know what I'm saying? You got Omicron all over your face. No. And then you sitting there with a dog, again, that don't look hungry. Y'all, I got to get ready to get out of here. DeAndre says, I don't like that guy to be in the bathroom at the club with hand towels and cologne. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. But I think that's because I don't be going to the club, so I don't know. There's a dude in the club with hand towels and cologne. Now, my eyelashes or whatever ain't touching this, because that's what I bumped the door with. Ain't done this. Ain't touching this. I would have to be extremely disheveled. He need to come up with a better hustle. Now, I was up at the Shell on, I don't know that, on the corner of Martin Luther King and I don't know what that street is. It's a main street. What is the street? I don't know what the street is. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the street. It's on the corner of Martin Luther King and like over in Gilbert. Thank you. Martin Luther King and Gilbert. And the dude was out there asking for money. He was saying, can I get some money? Because he said he wanted to go in and get something to eat. And of course, I asked the dude, well, what do you want to eat? I go in and get it for you. And he was like, I'd rather just get it myself. And I'm like, well, I'll go in with you. And then you can get it yourself and I'll pay for it. No, I prefer to just go in, and I'm like, yeah, you just trying to get some money. You know, you might be on that stuff. So I decided not to give it to him. But then it was another dude who was there who he went and asked the dude, could he have a few dollars? And I didn't like the way the dude talked to him. Even though I felt like the dude was like, yeah, okay, I'll give you some money if you pump my gas. Which, look, you're going to pay him, you're going to give me some money, you want him to perform a service for it. I wasn't mad about what he said. It was just the way he said it, like, I'm better than you, I own you, you know, and he even said, as he was pumping the gas, he even said something to him. And I just remember, I didn't like the way he talked to that dude. I just didn't like it. I just didn't like it. So, I mean, I drove off. I didn't get a dude no money. But I thought, if you're going to help him and you ask him to do a service, that's cool. But you ain't got to treat him bad. You ain't got to treat him bad. So I didn't like that. I didn't like that. But again, I was totally prepared to go in there. And I, in my mind, I don't think that's one with like a Subway. They might have like hot dogs rotating on the thing or something like that. I don't know what they had in there to eat. He might have just wanted some chips. But I was willing to, you tell me what you want, I will go in and I will get it for you. Well, he said he liked to get it himself. Well, I will walk in with you and I will pay for it. You just get what you want and I'll pay for it. I was willing to do that. But no, he wanted the money. You said you wanted to go get something to eat out of this store. I don't believe you now. And only because I know me, if I would have went in with him and he would have got something to eat and I would have paid for it, I'd have probably gained about another $5. Yeah, here. For whatever reason, I always seem to be able to find a 5. I always seem to be able to find a 5. I don't know why. And I don't carry cash. But this is a pair of pants I happened to put on this morning. And I reached in my pocket and there was a 5. And that's why I remember what Jimmy would have felt like. Because I was like, I got $5. I know it's my $5. I don't know when I put the $5 in there. But as you can tell, this is not how I carry money. I don't carry money. But when I reached in my pocket this morning, when I pulled these pants out, which I typically go through my pockets when I do the laundry, but I guess I missed it in these pockets. And so I put them on and I went in my pocket. I got $5. I was thinking Jimmy would have felt the same. In all honesty, I'm pretty sure he did. He didn't know that I slipped the $5 back in his pocket and he left. And then I think he came back like the next day or the next week or whatever it was. And that's when somebody told him that I put that $5 back in his pocket. It might have been 10. I don't remember which it was, either $5 or $10. I don't remember which one. But somebody told him that I put the money back in his pocket because until then, he had no idea. And he felt good, like, yeah, I gave him some money. And I thought it was a nice thing for him to do. But again, he's a senior citizen. He's on a fixed income and, slightly disabled, and I'm not going to take his money. I'm not going to take his money. You know he slipped that money back in your pocket. Why would you tell him? Why? And he talked about it on the air a lot of times. He talked about it a few times. And you slipped that money back in my pocket. I'm like, nobody was supposed to be telling you that. Yes, that Lincoln would have taken the money. But Lincoln was very nice to Jimmy. I remember that time we was doing a remote. It was on Redden Road at Firehouse. And Lincoln had some chicken, some Popeye's chicken. And Lincoln was loving that chicken. It was like chicken strips. Lincoln was loving that chicken. Like, you know, you could look at somebody and you could tell, like, they reliving their childhood with their favorite food. I don't know that that's Lincoln's favorite food, but he had that look on his face when he was eating. And I don't know if y'all know, but the way Lincoln eat is weird anyway. Like, I think he sucks his food. It's really weird. So Lincoln was killing that chicken, and Jimmy showed up, and we was on a break. When we went back from the break, Lincoln pulled that chicken back out to eat it. He took a little bite, and then Jimmy was like, "Can I get a piece of your chicken?" And Lincoln gave him that look like, what? And then I think Lincoln even said, "You want some of my chicken?" And he was like, "Yeah, just let me get a piece of that chicken." And Lincoln did not want to give him a piece of that chicken, but, "Here, Jimmy. Here, just take a piece of chicken. Just take a piece." And I thought Jimmy was going to be like, "I was just testing to see if you was going to give me some." Jimmy took a piece of chicken. He took a piece of chicken. And he started eating it, and Lincoln gave him the meanest look I've ever seen Lincoln give a person. It was the meanest look I've ever seen Lincoln give a person. But Jimmy ate the chicken, and Lincoln, he didn't say nothing to him. And Jimmy didn't even really notice it because, number one, like I told y'all, I think he's legally blind, even though he can kind of see. And I think he had his eyes closed while he was eating it. Apparently it was some really good chicken because Lincoln was enjoying that chicken on a level that I've never seen. And I think Jimmy closed his eyes while he was eating the chicken. And I was like, that was nice of Lincoln to get that man a piece of his chicken. Now, he talked about it for like 6 months. "Can you believe that he wanted some of my chicken?" And I'm like, "But you gave it to him." "But yeah, I gave it to him, but who just come up and say, 'Give me some of your chicken'?" I'm like, "Jimmy, that's who." So, no, the story does not end with somebody smacking the chicken out of his hand. But he gave him a piece of his chicken. So, all of that to say, I don't know. I think Lincoln really does have a soft spot for Mr. Mims, since Mr. Mims helped him when Black Jesus was whooping his ass. I think he really do have a soft spot for Mr. Mims. Yeah, DeAndre, you're right. You're right. He saved him. But yeah, Lincoln has a soft spot for him. I mean, if you saved me from getting my ass whooped, I might have a soft spot for you too. But he did not want to give him none of that chicken. So I don't know if he would have taken the money or not. He gave Jimmy the chicken because they're in the same armed services together. I don't think they were. Mr. Mims was never a Marine. Not according to the stories that he's told. Now, he might have been, and that's just not a story that I've heard. But I believe Mr. Mims says he was an Army Ranger. Lincoln Ware was a Marine DJ. So, no, not the same arms. Well, not the same branch of the armed services. Not the same branch. I sure do. Ask Lincoln tomorrow if he remember Jimmy at the firehouse asking him for a piece of his chicken, and see if he say he remember it, and if he remember it, the look in his face. He was a DJ in the Marines. That's how he got his combat pay. He got his combat pay because he had to leave the ship to go get a record. And the record was apparently at some radio tower. And so he's like, if your feet touch the enemy ground or whatever, you get combat pay. And so I guess they let him off. They let him out a little ways away from the radio tower. So he had to walk up a hill to the radio tower to get the record and then walk back. And Lincoln Ware tells that story like he was traipsing through the jungle, dodging landmines and enemy fire. And I asked him one day, Lincoln, like, was the enemy around? They could have been. For all I know, somebody could have came out of somewhere and shot me, and I'd have been dead. For all I know, hold on, but Lincoln, did you see any enemy? Just because you don't see them, don't mean that they ain't there. It's the jungle. You ain't necessarily gonna say, hold on. Was this in the jungle? Well, I mean, there was some trees there, so why did oh my God. So Lincoln. They just dropped you off down the street, and you walked up the street to the little thing, you got the record, you got back, and y'all didn't experience any fire, any enemy, anything, right? You never know what could have happened, but not what could have happened. What happened? Did anybody shoot at you? Did you see a bomb? Did you see an enemy? Okay, no, I didn't see it, but I got combat pay, so that's all that matters. That's all. Okay. I was just checking, because I didn't want to diminish your war experience. But you really just went and got a record. That was it. Tony says, so you saying Lincoln wasn't actually in combat? Lincoln went and got a record. Somebody drove him to the radio station. He basically had to walk up the driveway, go in and get the record, walk back down the driveway, get back in the Jeep, and get driven back, I guess get on a plane and a helicopter and fly back to the ship so that he could play this record. I don't remember who wanted the record, whose instant request it was. I don't remember whose instant request it was. But somebody had an instant request, and Lincoln had to fill it. One time he told me what the record was. Like, I don't know if the record was like the Star Spangled Banner or something like that, but they needed a particular record. Ask him to tell y'all the story. And while y'all at it, and I can't do this story no justice, y'all got to ask him to tell y'all the story about the monkey in Africa. He could tell me that story 5 million times, and I would
my stomach would still be hurting from laughing about that story. So y'all gotta ask him one day. Tell the story about the monkey in Africa where his wife locked him out on the balcony with a monkey. And the way he tells it, I mean, that's basically the gist of the story. His wife locked him out on the balcony with a monkey. That's the story. But the way Lincoln Ware tells that story is one of the funniest stories I've ever heard. Kind of like Jack Benny. Oh, boy. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. Jack Benny. I don't know. Why did Pharaoh tell me the Jack Benny joke? That was not funny. But maybe that was, 40s or 50s humor? I don't know. They didn't have TVs and stuff, so they didn't know nothing. So any of that stuff was funny to them, I guess. But the Jack Benny joke was not funny. Myosha says she never heard the monkey story. The monkey story is hilarious. Just the way Lincoln tells the monkey story. It is hilarious. But, all right, I got to get out of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And, again, I appreciate y'all supporting me. I really do. Until next time, it's been the afternoon experience. I'm out, y'all. Peace.